my book was filled like a lot. My book was very filled. Especially when like especially when you are in a category of something, and a lot of like that. I asked about you again from Senator. Senator said you are part of the beneficiaries of one program like that in like states.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. I was like, wow. I was like, wow.
Hi, Mr. Samuel. How are you?
So
Yeah, well done, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, great, 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 great to have you. So
Good morning, sir.
very shortly, I think we have well over 100 registrations, and that might be a good base to work with. Mr. Folabi Bayo, how are you doing?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Excellent, excellent. Right, so let me try be in contact with every other speaker so we can be sure we are good.
World Summit Award. Oh, recognizing inventors is the World Summit Award. Oh yeah, celebrating good people. What you see, you like what you see. Oh, recognizing inventors is the World Summit Award. Oh yeah, celebrating good people. Oh, yeah, oh yeah, oh no. Welcome Africa, no. Welcome Asia, Europe, America. You welcome Australia. Welcome Africa, no. Welcome Asia, Europe, America. You welcome Israel. World Summit Award. Oh, recognizing inventors is the World Summit Award. Oh yeah, celebrating good people. Production.
What the programming? Hey. Right, so we still give some time. All right, so Mr. Johnson, so probably just do like some more 5-10 minutes. Let's have a good house, and
Okay, sir.
all right, yeah. Hi, Zoe Damola.
Yeah, I just finished chatting with her, but she's going to join the call. She will.
Okay.
I'll communicate with them on the platform.
Oh, great. So, but then I think they're good. They're doing a great job. Let's see how this go. We'll get started as soon. Let's just give about maybe 10, 15, so that we can have a house and we get started. And good morning, everyone. We'll see you very soon. So let's continue with our theme song.
World Summit, it's the World Summit Award. Niger is the World Summit, it's the World Summit. Fredo is the World Summit, it's the World Summit Award. Niger is the World Summit, it's the World Summit. Fredo is the World Summit Award. It's the World Summit Award. Oh, recognizing inventors is the World Summit Award. Oh yeah, celebrating good people. Oh, yeah, oh yeah, oh no, the world is waiting, anticipating now to see innovation from every nation now. In science and technology, education and health, entertainment and e-business. Come hold my hand now so I can take you there. It's the World Summit Award. Oh, recognizing inventors is the World Summit Award. Oh yeah, celebrating good people. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh no. See all these people looking so beautiful, so beautiful. From different nations, different colors and tongues. We are united by love, sent by God from above, taking the whole wide world by storm. So hold your breath now. I know you like what you see. You like what you see. You like what you see. Oh, recognizing inventors is the World Summit Award. Oh yeah, celebrating good people. Oh yeah, oh no. Welcome Africa, no. Welcome Asia, Europe, America. You welcome Australia. Welcome Africa, no. Welcome Asia, Europe, America. You welcome Israel. It's the World Summit Award. Recognizing inventors is the World Summit Award. Oh yeah, celebrating good people. Niger Production.
Right, so I think at this stage, we can begin to identify with speakers so that we can set them as speakers, give them co-host ability to speak. Johnson, you're a co-host and you can also help me manage any other one, especially speakers I may not know. Johnson, are you there? You are muted.
Oh, okay, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, very well.
Yeah, Makinde Joseph is also on the call. He's the program manager, is one of the planning committees. So
yeah, please. You are a co-host, so you can actually manage activating every other other player that I may not know of, right?
Okay, sir. All right, sir. No problem, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, great. I have Mr. DM in the house, so let me activate his connection. All right, I hope by now all our speakers should be available.
It's the World Summit, it's the World Summit, it's the World Summit war. Niger, it's the World Summit, it's the World Summit, it's the World Summit war. It's the World Summit war. Oh, recognizing inventors is the World Summit war. Oh yeah, celebrating good people. Anticipating now to see innovation from every nation now. In science and technology, education and health, entertainment and e-business. Come hold my hand now so I could take you there. It's the World Summit Award. Recognizing inventors is the World Summit Award. Oh yeah, celebrating good people. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh no, oh no. See all these people looking so beautiful. From different nations, different colors and tongues. We are united by love, sent by God from above, taking the whole wide world by storm. So hold your breath now. I know you like what you see. You like what you see. You like what you see. Recognizing inventors is the World Summit Award. Oh yeah, celebrating good people. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh no, no. Welcome Africa, no. Welcome Asia, Europe, America. You welcome Australia. Welcome Asia, Europe, America. You welcome it's the World Summit Award. Recognizing inventors is the World Summit. Celebrating. Production.
Okay, right. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome everyone. Please, if I have the speakers, perhaps may just use the handle to raise a hand so that we can identify you, and one of us can activate you as we get started. Okay, I can see Elijah Moses. Mr. Samuel, Elijah Moses, could you do the favor of activating him as co-host too? Yeah, Mr. Adeyemi. Yeah, Mr. Adeyemi. Okay, great. Let me hear from one of my speakers. How are you? Mr. Adeyemi, your hand is up.
Oh,
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm fine. I hope everyone is fine too.
Great, thanks. Thank you so very much. You're welcome. Okay, I have Elijah Moses in the house. Let me be sure that you are able to do that, Mr. Samuel.
Yes, sir.
I think I also have elevated Oyinda Mola, so she can also help in elevating the speakers from time to time. Our first speaker, I think he was having connectivity issue, but obviously will eventually get in, and that's in the person of Shamsuddin Mohammed. Okay, Mr. DM, you still have your hand? Okay. All right. So please let's establish the protocol for this event. And I'm happy to welcome everyone to the World Summit Award Nigeria Entrepreneurship and Innovation Bootcamp 2024, being hosted by one of our World Summit Youth Ambassadors in the person of Mr. Samuel Johnson. And this is actually being put together in partnership with the UNILAG Entrepreneurship and Skills Development Skills Development Center, and a host of other partners that we get to know in the course of the 3-day events. Today, we will be actually having speakers to speak on the theme promoting digital innovation geared at creating sustainable solutions. By introduction, my name is Amos Emmanuel. I'm also an Akokite, and I'm particularly within the past few weeks and days that we've had in the planning for this event, been very happy that this is actually happening within that campus that is one of the best campuses and schools ever in the world. And I was particularly happy when I saw the digital frames or image of this event being hoisted at the Baluba Kingdom, the Mariri Hall, which is actually one of the prominent hostels of residents at the University of Lagos. And I think you guys are still enjoying the place. Permit me to welcome my speakers. Today, joining me will be Mr. Aslan Dawood. Aslan Dawood is a faculty member on our mentorship program with the NG Institute, Innovation Bed, and is also a digital marketing expert. And if he's actually on ground, we'll share his opening remarks. I have with me here Mr. Samuel Johnson, World Summit Youth Ambassador, and every other World Summit Youth Ambassadors that we have in the house. I have also Moses Amos, who's also a World Summit Youth Ambassador. And I also have Oyinda Mola Oshinobi, also World Summit Youth Ambassador for Nigeria. And we have quite a number of us and member of these young people all spread across the 36 states of the Federation. And I'm particularly happy for their nomination, and they're actually creating the impact that Nigeria desires. And of the World Summit Award project and platform, I have been the national expert for the country as a volunteer for the past 15 years. And I can say that in the course of my volunteerism, we have done so well for the country. And we have, by this platform, been able to identify, so many innovations that are world-class. And currently, Nigeria is also in the current evaluation stage of the jury system of the United Nations World Summit Awards, for which we are currently in the evaluation stage. Nigeria has about 5 projects for the year, and we wish all the winners and national nominees. One of them is with us here in the person of Elijah Moses, and he'll be one of the speakers. was also a national nominee. A national nominee is someone who has won in a particular category for his country. And there, Elijah Moses emerged the WSA national nominee for 2024 for Nigeria under the inclusion and empowerment category. And there are several other categories that we'll be talking about later on. So also, to start the session, we have Shamsuddin Muhammad. Shamsuddin Muhammad is actually the author, and is a young guy. He's actually the author, the role of digital technology towards empowering youth in the 21st century. And this event is just the best platform for him to share what he has in his book with us. Next is the mentioned Elijah Moses, the WSA National Nominee 2024, and innovator for VarionX application. And I'm sure in a few days, the young man is also planning a mega launch. He will talk about that later on. Also to speak today, we have Ehigbai Ohiweri. He's the founder, Shadow Scribes. Ehigbai Ohiweri, if you're in the house, please let us know so that you can be activated accordingly. Thank you. And of course, the young man here, the host, Samuel Johnson, WSA Youth Ambassador for Nigeria. So today, our business will be about these principal speakers. And I welcome everyone at this stage, as many others will join us later on. So let me be sure we have, is Aslan in the house yet? Aslan will join us and will be able to share his message. And I think I can perhaps right now, yes, love to hear from the host, Mr. Samuel Johnson. Mr. Samuel Johnson, please, what do you have for us?
Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I want to be sure that you can all hear me. Can you all hear me?
You're fine. Please go ahead.
All right, so good morning, everyone, once again. Our national expert, Mr. Emmanuel Amos, has said a lot already. So, as my boss, as my guy, I'll just be adding to what he has said earlier, because he has actually said a lot. So, good morning, everyone, once again. I would like to first thank God Almighty for the success of this virtual bootcamp. You know, it's a whole lot of planning, and we thank God that it is happening, coming to life. You know, it's different where you have an idea, and it's different when the idea is coming to life. So, giving God Almighty the honor for making this possible. So, God first in everything, and also to WSA Global, to Anna, to Chief Atabo for their support when I spoke to them about this conference, about this virtual bootcamp, and they were so happy with the idea, and they told me to go ahead, that they are really happy, and they promised to support us strategically one way or the other. And also to my national expert, Mr. Emmanuel Amos, when I told him about this conference or this virtual bootcamp, he did not have my back, and I have like step down and say, no, I'm not doing it again. But he was also happy for what I'm trying to do and the impact we are trying to create. And I will say thank you once again for that your support. Also to our partners, the University of Lagos Entrepreneurship and Skill Development Center, the University of Lagos Innovation and Technology Management Office, also Feed, our media partner. So they were going to power the digital billboard that is on campus. So they are our official partner, media partner for this conference. Feed, I want to say a very big thank you. And also to Bio Properties, I want to say a very big thank you. And also to my little brand, Watersound Services, for their support in one way or the other to make sure that this conference, this bootcamp is successful. Thank you so much. And also to some of our partners that I'm here to mention that we are still in talks. I want to also say thank you so much for your support as well. And also AI Academy, I've said earlier, Mr. Emmanuel Amos is the founder of Programmer Software. So I think that covered AI Mentorship Academy. Thank you so much also for doing all this platform. I don't know if everyone here knows that this platform is being powered by Programmers Foundation. So let's say a very big thank you to them for making it possible. Mr. Amos has said a lot, and there's no much time. We all know why we are here. We want to select and promote digital solutions. And the goal is not just stopping here, it's to take them from local to national, from national to global. That is actually the vision. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. God bless you.
Right. Thank you so very much for those insights. And kudos to everyone. Please also permit me to recognize another planning member who has also done so well in this in the course of this event startup. That's in the person of Oyedamola Oshunubi. Please, can we hear from you? What are you trying to do with your colleagues?
Yes, good morning, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. Good morning, sir. Good morning to all our speakers and our innovators. Thank you once again for making it. And I won't just say much, and also a big well done to Samuel, is the one spearheading this initiative. And what we are trying to achieve with this is to encourage digital solutions, digitally enabled solutions to solve the problems in our society among young people. Many young people have these ideas, they have this solution, they have this drive. Some have even started building, but they do not have that ecosystem of support or that community of support to see that the possibilities that are found in this space and the many opportunities they can get from just being in that ecosystem. This is what WSANigeria is trying to achieve with this bootcamp and with this conference. This is just day one, so please stick around. We have a lot of stuff for you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so very much,
Mr. Amos. Sorry, I have something to add, Mr. Amos. Sorry, I have something to add.
Please go ahead.
In my opening remarks, like I think I missed something so big, and that is my planning team. Yeah, so sorry for that. I have a lot in my head. Currently, I'm multitasking. I'm so sorry. My planning team, they'll be so wonderful. They'll be so great to me, most especially the program manager, the media, the team lead for the media, content, and publicity. They are doing a whole lot. Permit me to mention their name, the program manager, Makinde Joseph. Thank you so much. The lead for the media and publicity, Ada, the lead for the content, Ori, and the lead for the design team, Wicap, and to other team members as well at the back end that you guys cannot see. I want to say very thank you to everyone for making this possible, because the truth is that this is a voluntary task. Like, I'm not paying them, and you can see what we are putting out there. I'm very sure that with the content, the design, the strategy we are putting out there, people might think maybe there's a funding going for maybe WSA. No, there's none. But then these people just decided to also contribute to the development of our society. So thank you so much to my planning team. God bless you. Thanks so much.
I appreciate this. This is great to know that people are there that help. And that's most of the time in a voluntary service such as this. When you look back, you see people, it does help. But less, of course, when you get so frustrated when so many people are there and they probably don't even see your vision, and they probably will be looking for what is in it for me, when even you yourself cannot identify what is in it for you, because you're actually doing this for the purpose, for the sake of giving back to the society, and of course, developing the society, because if you have not done so, who will develop the society? So thank you very much for your strengths, your effort, your passion, and that this can come to fruition. So at this moment, let me just recognize my speakers, at least for the day, who are here. Just a little word. I may want to take a little intro, just an intro from Elijah Moses. Before your time, just an intro. Elijah Moses, very on X.
All right. So good day, everyone. Thank you so much, Mr. Amos, and every other amazing person for joining this call. I mean, I'll say I'm more excited being here, right?
Now,
Because
Elijah, look at it. I
yes,
see
sir.
you fly all over. Recently, you went in South Africa, or are you still in South Africa? And you're doing quite a lot. What is
Yeah,
your strength?
I'm
What's
actually
your
back. I'm
strength?
actually back in Nigeria. Yeah, God's by saying I'm actually back in Nigeria. I went for an ecosystem program. I was availed the opportunity of going there. Next year as well, there are other travels to other nations of the world like India and India, Algeria, and some other countries as well. Yeah, just expanding, expanding reach and seeing how well to drive impact. So I'm super excited being here as well. And I want to say a big thank you to Prominence Tech, the whole driving foundational background around innovation bed. It's an amazing stuff. Many people might not know what this will do for them now, but I tell you, after this program, you'll be amazed what will happen. And I also have like a free gift I'll be giving everybody. Let me tell you the free gift. If you stay to the end, so I'm putting together, or rather, I have together over 6,000 database of VCs, that is people who actually fund businesses all across the world. So both from the global north and global south. So I'm going to share that database with everybody here for free. So if you have ideas and every other thing, you can get funding alongside the rest. So yes, I'm happy. You don't want to miss any section. Just plug yourself where you are and just sit there. All right.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
so much,
you, thank
sir.
you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, you have your time, so I'm glad that actually when you see this is actually something I'm so passionate about, and I do this with every element of joy, especially when I see some of you guys stand out. You know, after winning, and I still don't leave you guys. I keep a tab on you guys to measure, and I even in the country I see some outstanding winners of the past, like budgets. You know, if you know budgets, budget was a product of this platform in 2013. And 10 years thereafter, they are still waxing strong and contributing so much to the Nigerian economy. And this is actually what innovation is actually is all about. Um, I will also want to identify okay, Moses is actually very busy right now. He's very busy right now. Let me just put that because it may not be his time to speak today, but then if you as you know, is actually my core backup. So much undergoing there. And Mr. DME, just a word, your intro.
All right. Good morning, everybody. My name remains Adekito Isaac Adeyemi. Well, my word is just that whatever you're doing and you felt people you're not getting the necessary accolade, I must be sincere with you that people are watching and your time will definitely come. So whatever you do, put in more efforts. Put in more effort. That's what I do tell people. You feel that the world is not appreciating me enough, and I've been doing this, I've not been getting anything. Just keep pushing, and you definitely get there with so much determination.
Great, great, great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so very much. So let me just set the ball rolling. I'll probably just take you through what I do and what impact of this is particularly to undergraduates or graduates within the country. I want to share one of my initiatives so that I'll use that to set the session on. Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you. Okay. let's just confirm that we can see my screen. I'll just give you a background of what Innovation Bed AI mentorship program is all about. First is that we have just completed a partnership with the MasterCard Associates Foundation program in mentoring a team of their associates between Nigeria and Ghana, and that program just ended last month, and we'll be looking for what to happen from next year, particularly on that platform. But then what we actually have been able to put together is that we are building partnerships across universities. And I think in 2025, we should have framed up like about 100 tertiary institution partnerships where we will be able to offer virtual mentorship to undergraduates of diverse courses of study. And today, most youths are given that privilege of rediscovering themselves. As a youth, irrespective of your course of study. And please take note that today, there is actually no course that is not relevant in nation building. Every course of study is relevant in nation building. So as such, what has happened to the global advancement of artificial intelligence and machine learning is that it gives everybody a level playing field. It does not matter. You do not have to be in school studying computer science. In fact, sometimes you can even be better off that you are doing some course or another than computer science, because computing is all about you understanding the mechanism of using a machine to drive some form of resolutions or steps of solving problems. And that's why you call IT people programmers. But guess what? Every human being is actually a programmer, because so long as you have problems and you are a professional who know how to solve problems and you can break down solution steps to solving specific problems, then you are a programmer, quite frankly, because if you're already solving problems, even if you are able to have this thought process within your head and you're able to put the solution steps together, even in your local dialect, today you are job creators, because when you have problems and you are offering solutions to problems, what you are creating is jobs. And let me just demystify the word job today. The word job today has become so disrupted that what you face as the negative thing about the labor market is because we are looking at the term job. The new emergent tools or the new emergent languages that have come to replace job today are in the area of service as well as products, because the capability and the opportunities that you have in global advancements of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and general tech advancements is to say that if I'm actually in one course of study, I can go back to my career content and rediscover myself. And I'm going to share with you some of those areas of course of study. Like this content actually covers things relating to, contents from, say, medicine. Amongst us here, we may have people who are in medicine. We may have people who are in the law profession, engineering, nursing, accounting, architecture, computer science itself, education, pharmacy, and so on and so forth. Our mentorship concept is to see how we can help. We are saying help because we will not present ourselves as educators. We are not presenting ourselves as another school. We are actually not another school. But these are mentorship coming from experience. Because for me, for instance, I did computer science, but then saw the need for me to be able to adapt, to apply. Because one thing about computer science, for some of you all here who are computer scientists, Please, if you study computer sciences and you do not have a sufficient area to apply your computer science, you might just be wasting a lot of time when you graduate. Because if you look at computer science, it's actually all about application. The word application is actually what brings food to your table. Computer science is so broad, it could be so, in fact, I can imagine some of us go through, some of you people go through, those pretty tough tasks of you imagining or evaluating processes and calculations within things around numerical analysis and things, so many other mathematical models that you have, some of them very abstract sometimes. But you now imagine when you step out of school that where do I play with all of this? I'm letting you know that today, stepping out of school, there are 1,000,001 opportunities that you can adapt and put these things, and they are already able to produce what we call digital services or digital products, which is now the capability that every undergraduate must have, every graduate must have. So, and once you have such enablement, you are yourself a boss. You are yourself a producer. And as a producer, you rather will not find job seeking attractive. You obviously will not, because today, job seeking is not even attractive any longer. I don't know who is on the road trying to place one advert here, looking for this, replace one CV here, is no longer attractive. So like, for instance, I have a background where after computer science, perhaps after computer science, I've gone to do finance and banking, and do I say the affinity? I mean, the thirst that I had that time to look for an area was to see how I apply my computer science, so that finance and banking actually opened up a broad opportunity for me, where I was able to see areas that they have computational issues, and I can now look back at my backbone with the opportunity of the computer science. So computer science is always a very great advantage. But I'm saying that, please, you need something else to be able to power your computer knowledge, so that that's actually what and where you need to excel from. Now, with computer science, with finance and banking, I was now able to identify what I need to do. And that is, for me today, I run a company called Programmers Software Limited. I also have a charity wing side of it, which is Programmers Foundation. And with what I do with the little business, I do my charity with the foundation, and so be it. I'm a very confident person. As an entrepreneur, no regrets. And this is actually one thing you need to just know. It may not be rosy. Obviously, never is it going to be rosy, especially for some of us. That one, we may not have a government. Where are they? Do they know you exist? They might even know that you exist. So here you are. You need to chart a life that is productive, a life that is correctional to the economy and society that you belong. And look at this. I had to use all of this, and of course, leverage on all of this to power my volunteerism on the UN World Summit Awards. And that actually now takes me closer for what innovation really is on a daily basis. And we can now say that seeking for people who innovate is just to help you rediscover yourselves. Some of us can actually today wake up and have ideas that can actually renew what happens in the educational sector. And educational sector is just one. It's just one of the vertical of the digital economy. And please, when we say digital economy, as citizens that you are, you need to take charge, because your economy, whether digital or not, is about the citizens. The government may not even know. To be frank with you, to a government, they probably may be feeling that someday that we may go to purchase a digital economy. Nobody is going to purchase, no matter amount of money you want to exchange for digital economy. Even those who have excelled, none of them has bought digital economy. Many of them have actually worked. Can someone mute that? Please let me put that under control. Now, many of the innovators are just there with new ideas. Please, can someone help? Okay. All right. So many innovators are actually, most of the time, they are the citizen-centric, passion that they have. First and foremost, they have love for their country. They actually have the love for their country. If they are able to do as much as they are thinking, as they are researching, they want to improve the society. And that is why the World Summit platform is there, that if you have ideas that could resolve inclusion and empowerment solution, just like what Elijah Moses is doing here, or people who are working to resolve educational products, like one of the winners we also have this year under what he calls the Campus AI, or that's under educational category, or some people are working to resolve open government and citizens engagement solutions. Because even as politics and leadership and the democracy that we all claim we have, they are begging. They actually wait. They too are looking for help. They frankly are looking for help. They're in total confusion. Leadership is not in order. They just think politics is just to read a manifesto and go to rule, but it's beyond that. So that is why today, a politician may just come and begin to share a manifesto thought, and within his paper, he's telling some of you, not me, obviously, that he is promising like 1 million jobs next year. Does he even know what jobs mean any longer? He does not even know that there's nothing called job anymore. Yes, the bitter truth is that jobs have now turned to digital services and digital products for which only empowered and cared for citizens can be in the innovative mood to begin to turn things around. And this is the economic driver that brings about a digital economy, and can never be, because we are spending money on the surface, running programs on propaganda, thinking this will happen. This charade keeps going on, and we keep bringing up, tinkering on one constitution or the other, as if that is the issues. But guess what? The groundwork of the citizenry is not attained. And this is actually the bane of what is happening across Africa right now. Now, even on one of my recent role as the Chief Data Officer for the Africa IPv6 Cybersecurity Task Force as the Chief Data Officer, you see, it's a responsibility to see how Nigeria and Africa as a continent can leverage on the new internet transformation. How can we adopt the new internet transformation? Previously, the internet was based on IPv4. Now, IPv4 networks are becoming obsolete because they are not growing anymore. So IPv6 networks are now a larger superhighway that the world is shifting into, and several other continents are making progress in this direction. So it is now our responsibility to pass on and begin to educate certain founders like Chris Uwaje, former president of the Institute of Software Practitioners of Nigeria, are doing so much, a lot with the current president of IPv6 Council, so that we can actually help the world fast track the growth on the next internet, which is the IPv6 network infrastructure. So once this happens, who are you? Are you part of it? Are you into robotics? Are you into social psychology? Are you into soil science, speech pathology, sports coaching, veterinary nursing, zoology? Everybody is a core stakeholder. And that is why we are all inclusive in addressing and giving the hope to every citizen, every professional, to transform your career into your ability to be able to create digital services, create digital products. And if you have this enablement, whether you are still in school or you're out of school, this is actually what will bring food to your table. And you see, I'm just putting this in general context about the kind of concerns that some of us may have with undergraduates or graduates coming out of school today. We may not begin to say that, oh, let's begin to modify our curriculum. It's important. Those curriculum, please just take it as they are. But please spend some more time in mentorship, right? So we need to spend some more time in mentorship so that we are sure that we are gaining more than we are taking from school. And you take a part from the school, take a part from your environment and ecosystem mentors, begin to build social products and social services that stands you out. Sincerely, if you are still doing job seeking, what does job simply mean today? Job simply mean that you have one influential person or somebody who just knows you, who gives you a chair and table and guarantees you a wage for 30 days. Now, the wage that you are paid, X amount of money, what have you done? That reward is not tied to what you have done in terms of the content and value of what service you have rendered. And this is what we find in the civil service. Are we a country? If it continues this way, we're in big shape. In fact, we're in trouble. And that is what you still find. And we're very comfortable going that way. And that is why the new breeds of the citizens now have to actually rediscover itself and be able to know that, oh, this is my life, this is what I have to do, and I sincerely, as an entrepreneur, an innovator, I can determine what I see tomorrow because of what I'm doing today. Because it's rather very hopeless if I'm backing up somebody who promises there's a good life in future for me. There is no one. What are they doing? I'm not on their propaganda. You will never be on their circles. And to say the least, you owe yourself your economic transformation and the generation behind you. And this is why this passion of what we do in seeing that people progress is rather on top of our threshold as we speak. And let me just stop here, and maybe I can now identify if I have Mr. Shamsuddin is in now. Otherwise, let me just take the position from Elijah Moses so that we can actually confirm from the other speaker, Mr. Oyedamola, please let me just verify that the other speakers have also been activated so that we can get to share their bits. So Elijah Moses, please let me just share your topic for the day for our participants. Is Elijah now at oh, sorry, yeah. I've just made you co-host. Yeah, Elijah, I just made you co-host.
All right. Thank you, sir. Am I to start?
Please, yes, you can go ahead, please. You can go ahead, please. Just take the floor. Your session. Just split your session. I could just manage the other speaker.
Oh, thank you. All right, everybody. Yeah, just give me a few minutes. Right.
Great.
So if you're all excited, type in the comment section, I am excited, right? I mean, I want to see the energy, right? So I get to know everybody who is ready to be, to do wonders today, because believe me, I'm going to do wonders today. I've literally been thinking about this stuff for quite a while, and I'm happy to share, what I have here with me, right? So type in the comment section, I'm ready, excited, yes, energy. All right. So I'm going to share my screen shortly. So I have basically, I think I have up to, how many hours, sir? How many hours do I have again? Let me check. So let's see. Let me just confirm time. Oh, I see. I have 1 hour. Okay, so I'll be 1 hour on this call. So I'll be as practical as possible and as direct as possible, right? So I'm going to share my screen right now. You should be able to see my screen from your end. If you can see it, just say, yo, I can see your screen, Elijah. Type in the comment section, yo, I can see your screen, Elijah. And yeah, apologies that my video camera is not actually turned on. If I try to turn it on, somehow the bandwidth seems to speak volumes, right? And I just said I don't want I don't want the case where I'm speaking and you're like, yo, I can hear you. No, this like that. All right, but please, can you see my screen? If you can, just type yes, I can see your screen. All right, or you can give the emoji, the emoji. Give me your favorite emoji. Is it the heart? Is it the thumbs up? Is it the brain? All right. So you should all be excited, though. So please give me the emojis. I want to know if you can see my screen. Right. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. So, good. Less than 30 seconds. So, I am someone who is fascinated about problem solving, and I love building value out of problem. I love identifying opportunities and seeing how well I can make the life of people better. So in a nutshell, Elijah Moses is somebody who is super fascinated in problem solving, looking out for ways to make the world a better place, bringing out the best out of people. All right. Yeah. So basically, in terms of my background, I have a background in applied physics. So an undergrad background in physics. Yes, physics. Then I also I'm currently taking another degree under business and business and IT tech related. Then I have done quite a number of trainings in the past. One of them is the just a few, right? So the VIM Venture Innovation 2024 program that was held in Lagos Business School. Also the Global Stanford Innovation Program and a number of other things. So yeah, so that's basically it. So today's yes, also I didn't mention, I also spearhead partnership for an amazing social impact organization called Aru Labs Nigeria. You can check us out. And I am the founder of Veranex. And amazingly, we're having our official company launch on Saturday. Yes. So hope I was able to use 30 seconds to capture all. Okay, let's get right to it. Let's get right to it. So I've been asked to speak on an amazing topic called building a scalable business model and customer acquisition strategies. So first things first, I would like to understand the audience. I would like to understand the audience. So in the comment section, I would like to know if you already have a business, type yes, I have a business. Or if you have a startup, yes, I have a business or I have a startup. Type in the comment section. Now, the second one, if you don't have a business yet, but you have the inspiration or you've conceived some assumption towards building a business or a venture or a startup, type in the comment section, I have the aspiration. I have the aspiration. Please, it's very important I get to understand, where you guys are, and so we can have a very good time together. So if you already have a business, say yes, I have. If you have a business, say I have just aspiration. So type in the comment section, okay. Samuel Johnson, I have a startup, I have a business, I have an aspiration. Thank you, Mr. Daniel, for the aspiration. I have a business, I have an aspiration. Okay. Oh, nice. I have the aspiration. All right. Okay. I have a startup. Okay. I think what I see here is that we have a blend of business owners and people who have the aspiration to start a business. That's perfect. So you're in the right group of people. So building a scalable business model and customer acquisition strategy. This section is going to be divided into two. I have a section on scalable business model and I have a section on customer acquisition strategy. So I want to deliver everything to you in under 1 hour. I know you have questions. And yes, I also have gifts to give everybody, a 6,000 VC list spreadsheet so you can send your pitch to investors all around the world. All right, so first things first, what is scaling? Well, I don't like jargon. So let me tell you how I teach. I don't like too much aspire to Maguire. There's a lot of talk, right? I like things being done. Like if I show you how it's done, you so I believe everybody here don't also like aspire to Maguire. If you're like me, I like, if you have results, show me how it's done. Okay. So scaling is not a big word, it's very simple, right? So it is not a magic word like abracadabra. It is simply the means of capturing market share and increasing the competitive performance delivery of a business without having to burn fast, right? Now, this is my definition. So you can say a larger definition. Is the means, the method, the approach, the process, the strategies of capturing, securing, owning market share. When you talk about market share, we talk about people who have potential interest in your business, on your idea and your solution, or people or businesses who are competing with you in that same space, right? So you either talk about the customers, you talk about the competitors, that's the market share. Increasing competitive performance, your ability to do the things you do faster, better, and more efficient is competitive performance, right? Of your business without having to burn fast. So burning fast simply means your ability of that business not to spend so much money achieving certain objectives as regards to scaling. So scaling can be whether you want to get new customers, you want to increase your product verticals, meaning you want to increase the number of products, the number of services you offer. And let me tell you this, I believe in one thing. Every single business has what it takes to expand their product or service vertical. What do I mean? For instance, if you are into, let's say, let me say very basic stuff. Let's say you're into shoe cobbling. You're into a cobbling business, for instance, right? Out of your cobbling business, are you aware that 6 other businesses can emerge out of your current business? You might have one product, but that one product can produce 6 other revenue streams, right? So from your cobbling business, you can start teaching cobbling education. So you open a YouTube channel. So you have money coming from what? Teaching people online. Secondly, you can also have like an education resource, section where now you have physical people who come to your shop, who come on internship, you teach them, you make money from it. You have consultation as well. Out of that one same business, so you're consulting for people who want to start the shoe cobbling business and stuff like that. You can decide to go into tires, sorting out tires and other stuff, or going into the sustainable space, and you also make money from there. So there are many ways in which a single business can have multiple product vertical or multiple product offering, right? So you don't need to start many businesses per se. You can start one business and increase what you can do with that business. That saves you cost. So that also helps you to not burn so fast, all right? So what is burn rate? Burn rate, simply put, is the rate your company uses up its cash. Your ability to minimize the consumption of money in executing certain projects is what gives you an advantage as well. So that's the meaning of burn rate, right? So the rate at which you burn money. And it has a calculation, by the way. So how do you calculate burn rate? And this is very important because some of the reasons why certain businesses don't get funding is because they don't understand burn rates. I will explain that shortly. So, for instance, you have an initial capital, right? You used to start up the business. You have an ending balance, the remaining amount that exists that you put into that business. You subtract both of them together. The difference you get from subtracting the starting balance or the ending balance, all right? You divide that difference over a period of months you think the business can run. If you don't have profit coming in, that becomes your burn rate, right? So question you need to ask yourself is, in this my business, how much money do we really burn out? All right. How much expenses do we really have? How much expenditure are we really getting? Right? Because if you don't understand how much expenses your business is, giving out there, we end up running an NGO after a long period of time. What do I mean by that? The business will die off. Right? So you need to know how much is coming in, how much is going out, and how long that business can survive if you don't have customers coming to you. That becomes burn rate, right? But then most people don't understand this. All right. When they hear scaling, they think scaling is bang, bang, all of a sudden your business is in 6 countries. No, it's not realistic. Right? You hear some companies, right? They start up a business today. You start, and part of your strategy is that you want to get to Ghana, you want to get to Togo, you want to get to Senegal, you want to get to all these countries. You've not even captured 100% of the Nigerian market that has over 224 million people. You want to expand yourself to other countries. It's bad. You will shoot yourself on the leg. That is not how to do business. And that is why you see that many startups don't survive within the period of like 5 years. They die off, right? So it's not about expanding yourself so fast, right? It's about you growing and maximizing the resources you have. So the question now to ask yourself is, are you growing as a business or are you scaling as a business? How do you really know the difference, right? So let me explain. Look at these two pictures. One of them is growing, the other one is scaling. Now, I'll be as practical with you as possible. When you are growing, right, you are basically using your revenue, right, to grow the business while managing costs. And most times, Parkinson's law might catch up with you. Income always rise to meet expenditures, or expenditures always rise to meet income, right? So when you grow, you tend to fight between cost and revenue for the business. How much comes into the business, right? And most times in growing, you use the resources you have. So to a great extent, growth most times is internally driven, internally motivated, right? So revenue and cost become very close friend, become very close ally when you are growing. But when you are scaling, in scaling, the aim is that you're trying to reduce cost and drive revenue. In growing, you are both increasing revenue and you're increasing cost at the same time, right? But in scaling, based on the investment you get, you want to reduce costs to the barest minimum, and you want to make more money. So reduce costs, get more revenue. That is scaling. And most times, the reason why this is very important is because when you start to scale, you start unlocking funding. Now, listen, people will give you money. Yes. But when they give you money, you have an obligation to these people that give you money, right? Somebody gives you like $10,000 or $30,000. You cannot grow your business using the same methodology you were using in playing around cost in growing when you have new capital, because the person who's giving you the money to that business is saying to you that, see, I need certain returns, I need certain outcomes to be accomplished, and the only way you can accomplish those outcomes is by you reducing the cost, the operational cost, and increasing revenue. Else you will sell out your business or they will sack you out, even though you are the CEO. So growing, you use what is available internally to grow most times, especially when it has to do with investment, external resources. But in scaling, you use what comes in externally to grow. If you look at these two metrics here you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 arrows. You can tell, okay, this business went up today, went down tomorrow, went up today, went down tomorrow. But in scaling, you have one investment. So more practical, maybe your business for about a year, the highest amount you've ever generated a year was like, let's say 10 million naira, right? I'm using naira now, 10 million naira, right? So you have played around 10 million naira quite well for a whole year. Now, in scaling, somebody gives you 30 million naira, 3x than what that business have ever generated in a year, right? So you need to increase revenue, right, and reduce cost. So you cannot do the same thing you were doing when you had 10 million naira, right? Else you have higher bond rate. You will bond money, right? So if you bond so much money, you end up declaring bankruptcy. So that's not something you want. So how then do you understand this thing, right? The revealer of all truth is your business model. Is your business model. If you don't understand your business model, then you have a problem, right? You have a problem. So what is a business model? Simply put, a business model or a business model canvas is a graphical representation of how your business creates value, distribute value, and get value back in terms of profit into the business. So it starts with value, right? It's not about you building a technology out there or building something that you feel people will like, right? Business is not about you building what you think other people will like, right? If you're building what you think other people will like, you're not in business. You're in a showman. You're in the showman industry, right? So the question you keep asking yourself is, my business, are we really creating value? Are we really harnessing an opportunity out there? Are we really solving a problem out there? Do people really need us, right? Or are we just existing for ourselves, existing born out of hobby, right? So the question you ask yourself is, what problem are we addressing, right? And what opportunity are we harnessing? Problem you are addressing, opportunities you are harnessing. Out of those two key questions, you build your business model. So the business model canvas also has like 9 divisions, right? So this is something you use, right? When you have an idea, don't just jump into executing it. Get the idea, break it down into a business model canvas, understand the whole pathway, the whole direction, the whole journey within the business model canvas. After that, you advance forward to build what is called your MVP, which you use to test with the customers you've identified. So the business model canvas, you have key partnership, key activities, key resources, value proposition. So key partnership means the people you're working with to see that thing happen. Key activity means possibly some of the things the business will be doing, right? When it is in existence. Key resource means what do you currently have that you can use, right? Value proposition, what makes you stand out, right? So what is your leading advantage? What is your leading edge? Customer relationship, how do you plan on building relationship with people? Are you looking out for a lifetime customer or a single-use customer? Or are you looking at systems in which you can leverage on to keep your customer pipeline open, meaning the gateway in which more people come to do business with you, right? So the avenue or the process in which you can connect to them, you talk about that, right? Customer segment, who are you servicing, right? Yes, let me tell you, everybody in the world does not need your product. Get that and no peace, right? Somebody asks you, who are you selling to? I sell for the whole world. Is a lie. It's a lie. The whole world does not need your product because human needs are insatiable, right? So you cannot build a product that captures everybody's interest. And that is why customer segmentation comes in. You need to understand the people you are selling to and know how to sell to them, right? Channels, the means by which these people get to know you, get to meet you. Is it word of mouth? Is it social media? Is it email marketing? Is it search engine marketing? Is it newsletters? Whatever means people can actually see your business, right? That is what you need to do. A practical example of this, how many of you know what is called the Temu app? Some of you might have been seeing the Temu ads on TikTok or this platform, Temu, right? They're a Chinese company and they don't want anybody to rest. Okay, they don't want anybody to rest, but they want to sell things very fast, very quick, so everybody buy things out. So by the way, you talk about your cost structure, how you plan on spending money, how you plan on making money, and all this kind of stuff. So what is the methodology of scaling? How do you then scale? You need to identify people. Who are you working with? All right, people are not just employees, they're the driving force behind the success of every brand. The strategy, how do you plan on getting to the market? All right, how do you plan on using what you currently have without you having to face stress or strain? Execution, how do you go about converting the ideas in your head, which are now expressed on paper, into action? Then cash flow, how do you plan on maximizing the cash you have? This was a methodology designed by Vene Hadish, who is the CEO of Scaling Up, right? So the 4 pillars of scaling: people, strategy, execution, and cash. So what is the scaling up process? There's some couple of things you need to take into consideration. Step one, you need to assess the opportunity. All right. Then you ask yourself a question: should we consider scaling out at this time, or should we just stay the way we are? Number 2, if you say yes, you need to define innovation. What are you scaling? Let me also say this: nearly every business can be scaled with technology. Don't forget that. Nearly every business can be scaled with technology. Technology is the productivity multiplier, right? So you can scale anything with technology. You just have to find a way to do it. Do you have anything truly worthy of scaling out? You need to identify the promising parts, right? And you need to develop an action plan. These things are very important. You need to have them set. Now, a key question you need to ask yourself in scaling is: how much of the pie do you own or aspire to get from the global market? What do I mean? So the GDP of the whole world is $105 trillion, right? And then you see all the countries over here. You ask yourself, in terms of market access and market opportunities, my idea is start with your country first, right? And then you can expand further into other areas that have interest or that have the required framework or systems in place to appreciate your value, appreciate your business for whatever it is you're offering. All right. This is the GDP of Africa. The GDP of Africa is estimated to be $3.1 trillion, right? So you ask yourself, okay, this is Africa as a whole. How much of this $3.1 billion am I going to get, right? Or based on your market segmentation, your market target, how much do I really want to make? Very, very important. You ask these questions for yourself. As a business owner, statistics is your friend. Don't fight it, work with it. Now, why did I show you that previous slide? I showed you that to say this. All markets are accessible on differentiation. Market differentiation is your ability to know specifically the areas of interest, that your potential target audience have. The customers make up the market. The customers make up the market. So know exactly what they have, what you're capturing, right? You're not capturing everybody. Identify what exactly you're trying to do and go for it. Now, I'm going to talk about case studies of scaling, right? Some very important things you need to know when you talk about scaling. Some companies that have scaled and are doing well, you have Amazon, right? Jeff Bezos actually started Amazon, right? And he used $10,000 of his own money to build the company, building what is called an MVP, a minimum viable product. You cannot just say you have an idea and somebody asks you how much will you need for your MVP, and some people will say $5,000. Let me shock you guys. For as low as 1 million naira, for as low as $800 to $1,000, you can build an MVP. For as low as $800 to $1,000, you can build an MVP. You don't need $5,000. You don't need $8,000. You just need to build a solution that you can test with the market, test out your assumption. And if it works out well, you have people who start using your stuff and you make money from it, right? So people saying, I need $10,000 or I need, all those big amount of money. No, you don't need it, right? There are ways you can actually build this thing with as little as $800 to $1,000. Lowest. So save yourself the stress. You don't need to go through a whole lot of hassle to get this thing done. All right. Now let me talk about leverage. The fourth type of leverage, right? Permission. I also talk about permission and permissionless leverage, right? So in terms of leverage, this is a concept that was developed by Naval Ravikant, right? There are 4 things you need to know as a business person to make money. Either you want to get into business or you're already into business. So you need to understand the 4 types of leverage: capital, labor, code, and media. Capital is the lowest form of leverage, where you use money to make money. It's a lowest form of leverage, right? Capital and labor, you need permission. You need somebody to give it to you before you start. All right. Hence, you hear people saying they don't have money to start business, or there's no money to start business, all this kind of stuff, because they need money or they need labor. They need people to work with them. But it's the lowest form of means for you to make impact or solve problems, right? So labor, you need people. Capital, you need money. All right. And these two are called permissioned leverage. Somebody needs to give it to you before you start. But permissionless leverage, code and media, right? Code and media, technology, or businesses that you can build using technology. Either you use a low-code platform, meaning platform where you don't need to learn so much coding. You can use Wix, right? You can use bubble.io. You can use sites.google.com and all this platform to build, right? Code platform. Now, in terms of media simply means you leverage on influence, right? You leverage on influence, right? So you have people who start up social media platform, who are video blogging, who are podcasting and all this kind of stuff. These are permissionless leverages. Nobody needs to give it to you. You already have it. So you use what you have and you make money from it. So the 4 types of leverage: capital, labor, code, and media. You can group your business into any of these. If you need people to make money, you won't grow so fast. You cannot scale. If you need people to give you more money before you scale, before you do your business, you won't grow so fast. If you find a way of connecting technology to your current business, you will grow so fast. If you have a way of capitalizing on social media platform or the orange economy to make money, you will do so well. So this is a question you need to ask yourself: are you operating in the high leverage or in the low leverage? So permission and permissionless leverage. Labor, you have people working for you. Capital, you need money to invest. But technology, product with minimal or marginal cost of replication. Something you can do so fast, so easy, without you having to stress yourself, right? And let me tell you something. Technology is the leverage. I read a book that was written in the year 2000 called Business at the Speed of Thought. It was written by Bill Gates, right? So you can go check out the book, Business at the Speed of Thought. And in that book, he mentioned something very striking. He said, businesses that fail to understand the opportunities, the assets that technology brings to them, we phase out. The competition will eat them away. So technology is an advantage for you, right? And with the rise of AI and all this amazing stuff, you just cannot but position yourself for higher leverage, higher opportunities. All right. So I have some available resources here I would love to share with everybody here. I have a sample product layout, a personal customer canvas, a problem statement canvas, a value proposition canvas, something you can use for yourself to really streamline your idea or streamline your business, make impact, and make money. So, do I still have time? So I move into the customer acquisition strategy very fast. Please, if you have questions, you're free to ask your questions as well. Okay, let me see. Oh,
Yes,
yes.
just try wrap up. Just got 5-10 minutes. We are good.
Okay, so I saw a feedback. Someone said yes, Tema actually spent $2 billion on Facebook and Instagram ad. 2 billion money. All right, so I'm going to move very fast with the customer acquisition strategy, right? So customer acquisition strategy, yes. So basically, this talks about how you can get money or get your business doing well, right? The approach you can take for you to stand out as a business. Customer acquisition simply means the way in which you acquire a customer, you get them to buy your stuff, right? So I'll be very fast, right? So there are key things you can actually do. You need to understand the purpose of the strategy. You need to outline effective method for attracting and retaining customers, right? Whatever it is you are selling, you need to be in the eyes of the customers. You want them to see you. You want them to know you exist, right? You want them to buy your business. You want to get into their head. You want them, when they are sleeping in their dreams, they should be thinking of you. Like the way MU is pursuing people right now. Everywhere you turn, they'll tell you, come and buy. Or we're giving free, 100%, you don't pay a dime, right? So these are strategies you can use. And what are some of these strategies, right? I'm going to move into it. So there's some of the go-to-market strategy you can adopt to give yourself advantage. One of them is called paid channels, meaning search engine marketing, SEM. So there's SEM, there's SEO. SEO is when you do what you do without you having to run ads, mainly, right? So search engine optimization. SEM is when you use ads to make yourself visible to your customers. So paid ads work, right? Another approach is called social media ads, right? Now, most times, SEM works with Google Ads. SEM works with Google Ads, right? Google Ads and other search engine platforms. But social media ads like Facebook ad, Instagram ad, TikTok ad, and all this platform enables you to get money, right? Now, search engine marketing, I mentioned this earlier, paid advertisement, right? Affiliate marketing is also a way in which you can get customers buying into your stuff. Build an affiliate network. You can use platforms like Seller, or you use any other platform out there to enable yourself actually sell whatever product you have or business you have, right? You need to also learn how to measure the success of whatever it is you're doing. And there are some tools that can help you out to do this. One of them is called Google Analytics, right? Google Analytics, you can check it out. The other one is called, I'm going to share some resources you can use, right? So you have Google Analytics, right? The other tools I use is called trend.google.com. So I'll be sharing some resources on the comment section that you can actually use as well. Okay, where's the stuff? Okay, so you have trend.google.com. All right, so I'm posting the links on the comment section so you can all see some resources you can use. Trend.google.com. You also have Google Keyword Planner, right? So Google Keyword Planner. These are tools I use as well to do the things I do. It helps you to run strategic ads, strategic marketing, with respect to whatever it is you want to do, right? Then there's also a tool I use to run market analysis. It's called, what is it again? Yes, Facebook.meta. It's a metadata. I'm trying to get it so I can share with you, right? So it's basically meta for good, right? So it's a tool you can use to run market analysis. It gives you access to a large volume of data, right, to run real-time analysis. I'm sharing all this on the comment section for you as well. So I'm wrapping up very quick, but let me just share this as fast as I can go. All right, so you need to budget your ad campaign, know the platform that works well for you, use them well, and put yourself out there, right? Every single thing here works. Content marketing is also something you need to know how to do, using the right keyword planner, which I've shared with you, and other amazing resources you can use. I don't want to go so far into this because of time, right? But what I would do, right, I can share the slide out and share this resources with everybody as well, which can enable them actually, enable their businesses to stand out. So I'll just share some of the resources I shared earlier on the comment section. So you can all have it. And I will take questions right now if you do have. So I've shared one of the resources I shared right now with you is a resource on sample product layout. So check it out. These are part of my personal resources as well. The second one is a personal customer canvas, enable you to understand your customer very well. The third one actually is also called the problem statement canvas. Understand whatever problem you're trying to solve, whether it's an opportunity problem, whether it's an opportunity or a problem rather, right? I've shared this as well. The fourth one actually I have here is the value proposition canvas, right? Very, very important. You need to know about this. Then the other key thing also you can check out for is called the business model canvas. So I'm just going to type this out here. The business model canvas is something you can actually use as well. Yes, I have to search it out. So it's free online, so you can all go get it, right? So business model canvas. All right. Okay, please, let's take question because of time. So let me just wrap up everything in summary, right? So in summary, everybody, I wish I could, go deeper, right? But in summary, the opportunities out there for everybody, right? There's a lot of great stuff there that you can all use. And don't limit yourself, right? Don't limit yourself. You have an amazing business, you have an amazing venture. Put yourself out there, apply for opportunities, be visible, be relevant, become a top leader, lead in your field, and you'll be amazed by the outcome. And finally, I'm sharing the holy grail of all holy grail on the comment section. The 6,000, you can see my screen, everybody, the 6,000 grant stroke VC angel list spreadsheet. So these guys are VCs. So you have a 6,000 spreadsheet of VCs around the world, meaning venture capitalists, angel investors that you can reach out to as well. Okay, everybody. I think I'll stop here. Right. I'll take questions if you have questions as well. Right.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, Elijah Moses. I know you're almost looking like one of my professors. When I have events and I call him, I make sure he speaks last, because if he starts, no one else will speak. Thank you. In fact, quite grateful for all the insights. Quite grateful for the insights. Please, if we have any question, please just drop the questions. We can escalate them much later on, so that we can actually take some other great people that I'm seeing in the house. Okay, also in the group right now, I have Aslan Dawood that's just joined in. Aslan Dawood was to anchor this event with me from Pakistan, or I'm always confused because he operates a lot of places right in recent days. He does a lot in Dubai, does a lot in the US, as well as in New Zealand. Aslan, please, just a little intro. How are you? Unmute yourself.
I am muted. Yeah. Thank you very much, Amos, for providing me this opportunity. And I'm glad to be here with everyone, with my friends, with my fellows in Africa. And I'm very inspired actually by the energy in this room and the passion that each one of you brings to the table. And I was just listening to the presentation by the Elijah Moses. And I just wanted to say that thank you, Elijah, for sharing the insights of the digital marketing. And I'm also a digital marketing specialist. I have like 9 years of experience in that particular area. I've served different industry sectors. I'm sorry. I've served different industry sectors in Pakistan, New Zealand, and also in Dubai. And currently, I'm basically in planning phase to launch my digital marketing agency in different demographical region. And I'm sure that we can definitely work together and serve the different industries in Africa as well. So I think this is an excellent opportunity for us to join our hands. Let's grow together, let's learn together, and let's implement the best business strategies in Africa so that it will create a win-win situation for all of us. So this is all I have to say. Thank you very much, Amos. And Elijah, let's connect afterwards, and let's see how we can actually collaborate with each other. Thank you very much.
Excellent. So thank you very much, Aslan. Aslan Dawood and I has worked for several years on the UN ICT for Seeds project with Harrisburg University of Science and Tech in the US. And in the course of more things to come, we will be, you'll be able to share more with Aslan. Shamsuddin, you'll be speaking, but please let's mute a bit. And thank you for the little words. And the last speaker also is of the Innovation Bed ecosystem, and currently a WSA national nominee for Nigeria, and on that product called VarionX that you get to meet anytime. Let me take this opportunity to welcome our speaker, Mr. Shamsuddin Muhammad. Shamsuddin Muhammad. Please, you can take your floor. Shamsuddin, please, you are muted. Hello. Haji Shamsuddin, are you there? Can you confirm your sound? Yeah, kindly unmute and take the floor. Yeah, Mr. Shamsuddin, please, you are co-host and you can share, and let's confirm your sound. Please, can someone confirm Ehibai or Hiwere? Ehibai or Hiwere, please, can someone confirm his handle and elevate accordingly? Oyedamola, can you confirm that speaker?
Yes, sir. We are in the process of reaching out to him.
Okay, if he's not available, so okay, great.
If someone else can go.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure that he's not here and we have not elevated him. All right, so still having to confirm Shamsuddin. I just spoke with him now. I think his connectivity was okay a few minutes ago. Okay, while I wait to take him, please let me just take this briefly.
Recognizing inventors is the World Summit Award. Oh yeah, celebrating good people. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh no, the world is waiting, anticipating now to see innovation from every nation now. In science and technology, education and health, entertainment and e-business. Come hold my hand now so I could take you there. It's the World Summit Award. Recognizing inventors is the World Summit Award.
Okay, Shamsuddin, please go ahead, please.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Very well. Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Let me quickly proceed with the presentation. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. It is a pleasure to address you today as the keynote speaker on the topic, Understanding Market Need and Crafting a Unique Value Proposition. This topic is success today. This topic, hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, my topic for the presentation is understanding market need and crafting a unique value proposition. This topic is the cornerstone of success in today's modern and competitive world. Whether you are an entrepreneur, a professional, or a student, or aspiring to make an impact, mastering this concept can transform your idea into opportunity and your effort into success. Let me quickly take you through this topic step by step, expanding on its principle while keeping it practical and straightforward. First of all, why understanding market need is essential. Imagine you are trying to sell a jacket. If you don't know whether your audience live in a hot or cold climate, you might create something no one wants to buy. This is why understanding your market is very important. It's very important. Then how can we understand our markets? There are some, you can start by, for example, talk to your audience. Ask them questions about what they need. A simple conversation can reveal the problems they are facing. Then secondly, observe the trend. Pay attention to what is happening around you. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, that's in 2020, there was a high demand of masks and hand sanitizer. So business that observe this trend quickly adopt and try. Then the next item is use data. Look at the numbers, the figures, the survey, the statistic that tell people what the statistic. They tell you what people are buying, what they are searching for, and what they are ignoring. So you can use data as a business person. You can use data to confirm what kind of product that people used to buy. So you can leverage on that. Understanding market need is about stepping into the shoe of your customer and seeing the world through their eye. When you do this, you gain clarity on how to solve their problem. Then the next item is crafting a unique value proposition. Now you know what you now assuming that you have identified what your customer want. The next step is to design a solution the next step is to find out a solution that demands their need. This is called your unique value proposition, the special thing that make people choose your product over another. It is called a unique value proposition. Let me simplify it. A unique value proposition answers 3 questions. First of all, what are you offering? Who are you offering it to? And thirdly, why it is better, why your product is better or different from that of others, from the competition. Let me give you an example. If you have a coffee shop, your unique value proposition may be, we serve the freshest organic coffee in the town, sourced directly from farmers. This is an example of a unique value proposition. Then secondly, for example, if you are an app developer, it may be, our app helps save you 20% more than monthly expensive than any other budgeting tool. Another example, for example, okay, a unique value proposition is not about it's not about doing everything. It is about doing one thing better than any other person. So your unique value proposition in a short is the solution that you can offer to the customer and why your solution is different from the other. I hope you have understood this point. Then the next item is focus on benefits, not just a feature. If you are a businessman, let's take a look into this. For example, a business focus too much on the technical detail of what they offer, the features. Well, these are important. Customer care more about the benefit than the feature. Let me give an example. A smartphone company may say, our phone has 108 MP camera. This is a feature. A better way of saying this could be, our phone lets you take a professional quality photo to capture your most precious moment. This is a benefit. So as a business person, for example, don't just go and describe the feature of your product to the customer, rather give him the benefit, the problem that your product is going to solve. You can always ask yourself, how will my product or service make my customer live easier, better, and happier? How will it solve their problem? When you focus on benefits, you connect emotionally with your audience, and that is what drives decision. Then the next item is the power of simplicity. Let me emphasize the importance of keeping your message simple. Complexity can make people confused, but simplicity resonates. Some of the world's most successful companies have simple slogan, simple motto. For example, Nike slogan is just do it. Uber slogan is tap the app, get it right. Apple slogan is think different. You see, all those big companies, their slogan, their motto, what they stand for, is actually short and precise. So as a business person, you have to make your brand, short and precise, yes, informative. You have to adopt the power of simplicity rather than complexity. You don't need a long explanation or fancy word. Instead, focus on clarity. Think of your unique value proposition as a promise to your customer, a promise they can understand in a few seconds. Then the next important item is adapting to change. Market and customer are not static, they are dynamic, they evolve, they are always changing. Successful business doesn't just react to change, it anticipates change, and therefore it's prepared for change and adopt change. Let me give you an example. Netflix started as a DVD rental service some years ago, but pivoted to streaming because they saw this is where the world is going. Companies like Telstar, for example, recognize the demand for sustainability energy. Therefore, they build a vehicle using renewable energy such as electric vehicle and other companies are not adapting to change. Then the key here is to stay curious and adaptable. Listen to your customer feedback, watch track, and don't be afraid to innovate. Don't be afraid to adopt change. Then the next item is practical steps to apply this knowledge. Let me bring all this together with actionable steps. First of all, identify your audience. Who are you? As a businessman, you can always ask yourself, who are your audience? What do they care about? Then the next item is to research their need, use a survey, social media, or even a casual conversation to uncover what they want. Then analyze your competition. Look at what others are doing, identify what they are missing, and use that gap to create something better. Then create your unique value proposition. Write a clear, concise, simple statement about what makes your solution unique and valuable. Then test and refine. Share your idea with a small group. Get their feedback. Improve before you launch it. Then the next item is real-life example of unique value proposition. To inspire you further, let's take a look at some of the successful businesses and their unique value proposition. Let me give an example of two. For example, Amazon. Amazon is the Walmart. Amazon unique value proposition is Atmos. Walmart-centric, Atmos customer-centric company. That is, they focus on speed, convenience, and variety. You see, it is actually simple and captivating. Then for the second example I would like to give you is Zoom. Like this app we are using for online virtual meeting. Their unique value proposition is simple, just in three keywords. Meeting made simple. You see, meeting made simple. It is easier. It is just three words. They succeed during the pandemic, during the COVID-19 pandemic, because they provide an easy way for people to connect and have a meeting virtually. This company understands their market. They craft a unique value proposition and communicate them effectively. Then let's look at the ultimately, understanding market need and crafting a unique value proposition is not just about selling a product. It is about creating a solution that genuinely helps people. It is about building a trust, a relationship. It is about making a meaningful impact in the life of those you serve. That is your customer. Then in conclusion, I would like to leave you with this thought. Success is not about everything. Success is not about doing everything. It is about doing the right thing for the right people at the right time and doing it better than any other person. By understanding your market and crafting a unique value proposition, you can create something that stands out, make a difference, and lead a lasting success. Thanks for your time. I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Shamsuddin. I'm sure we would have actually tried to see what the challenge you had was, so that would have improved that session. But quite great insights that you have actually given there, and we quite appreciate you. Thank you so very much once again. At this point, let me just get a brief from Mr. Samuel Johnson. So please, can you just give us a cap? How have you seen so far? How has it been?
Okay. I want to be sure that you can hear me right. Can you hear me, sir?
Very well, very well.
All right, so the section has actually been interesting. Thank God that I have my writing materials here, like most especially the first session. I even had to write. Let me show you guys to know that yes, I had to write. Like I was, even if I the convener can carry my pen and biro to write. So I think other people can do better. So it has actually been interesting. It has been insightful. Like I've gained a lot. Like, you know, when I say that nobody's a mountain, like you keep learning, like this something, because if I can be learning from what I am conveying and what hosting, that is so great. So it's a great one for me. Yeah, thanks, sir.
Great, thank you so very much there. And from the speakers, I think we'll be having Mr. Higbai any moment. Before then, can we take any contributions from the participants at this stage? I would like to pick on Dorcas Odusi. Let me pick on Dorcas Odusi. Let's know your background. Let's know your background and your opinion on entrepreneurship, digital entrepreneurship generally. Okay, your sound. Okay, your sound is seeming. Okay, great. Go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Excellent.
I
You're
was
welcome.
actually surprised. I wanted to say that I was actually surprised at the low participants. Like I just know about this like yesterday night on the platform and I signed up and my calendar reminded me this morning and I saw that okay there was still time so I joined. I even joined late, but the first person, I think his name is Elijah Moses, I really learned a lot. And even from the second person, I was just checking the participant that these my eyes. What people feel here? Like so much value was passed out. And I'm really passionate about entrepreneurship and innovation. I believe that's one of the ways that we can first engage our youths to make impacts to get the better Africa that we want. And it's also one of the ways that we can foster economic growth, like economic restoration that has been planning for. I'm from Nigeria, by the way. I'm a
Great.
student.
Sorry, may I know your career? What's your background, profession? What course of study?
I'm studying law.
Oh, you studying law. Great. You see, right. You see, that was why when we started, we actually had to say that the future today is not about, sincerely, it's not about technology. For me, if you say technology, perhaps I see myself as having technology as my backbone, and my front end or front side, I want to see versatility. Versatility in the sense that I should be able to do anything. I should be able to adapt into any other thing. And that is actually what's the vision. I mean, the position of an entrepreneur should be. All right. Thank you so very much. Yeah, thank you so very much there for that input. Let me also hear from someone else. Can I take my namesake, Amos Akerele?
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning. What's your background? What do you think of what has transpired?
Oh, really don't have much idea on it, but I figured if I can get a little bit more like explanation on it.
Okay, let's start from who are you? What do you do? Let's start from there.
Okay, my name is Amos Akerele.
That's right.
Student of UNILAG. A startup owner, basically. A startup owner.
Okay.
Bliss.
Okay. What's your course? What's your background? What career?
Business administration.
Excellent. Okay, let's just stop there. Now, if I take you to business administration, Mr. Amos Akerele, of all this that we put together, the whole essence of this bootcamp is to see how every career professional should be able to rediscover self by imbibing some digital entrepreneurship, skills.
Yes, sir.
Or passion or something that could drive you. Now, what is it in your business administration? Do you think there are course contents and areas of benefits? If I may know, what year currently in your business admin career?
Year 2, sir. Year 2.
Excellent. Even up to that stage that you have done your year 1, the second year, and you are progressing, are you able to identify any part of business administration that you think may be influenced by some global advancements of some of these technological discussions that you keep hearing that you think could help that course so that you can make a better life out of business administration. Because quite frankly, many of us or many people in the past have done business administration in a manner that they simply end up producing a course project in the final year that is just sheer printed for evaluation for exam purpose. And even the whole essence of whatever the project was in that book or document publication, they never fall back to those things to activate. But what we are saying is that if you are doing a project, that's supposed to be your internal, that's actually your intellectual property of what should be yours, or what should be like something you can create to own for the future, something you should even be able to survive on thereafter. Because if you have started a project, a research, why would you want to kill the idea? Why would you just want to leave it a paper document or publication that you want to kill in one drawer? You go back there, the thing is, whatever it is, but then these are supposed to be ideas that you need to activate as you grow into doing one thing or the other. Because as I spoke when I first started this program, I said there is no one single course any longer that is not relevant in nation building. There's no one. Every content, every course content now can leverage on global advancements of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and the whole gamut of advancements of technologies generally, and you remain a heavy, a huge innovator for yourself of your career. Because quite frankly, for you to do business administration, you stand out. You already have an area that you're already dealing with. You're already a problem solver. You are solving problems in a particular niche. So the next that is computing. Computing will never kill you. That, in fact, today, there's no code. When people don't even do programming, it's an inclusive programming concept that the world is giving to everybody now. So it's a leveler. So you get to know that whatever it is that you do, that your curriculum offers you as a business admin undergraduate or graduates, you owe yourself that career transformation to get out of that shell and give yourself the better person tomorrow. So Amos Adeleke, thank you from biz admin perspective. Let's take someone else. Can I hear from David Omo?
Okay, hello, good afternoon.
David Omo, please go ahead.
All right, so my background is urban and regional planning, but I pivoted a long time ago into insurance and claims recovery. So currently, I run my startup as a claim recovery startup, and we've been able to use AI to get false claims, like people are making claims to insurance. We've been able to use AI to detect original documents and fake documents, and we've been in business for about 4 to 5 years. So I'm here to just learn more, and it's so captivating that I have my notepad very few. It's a wonderful program so far. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David Omo. You see, that's another career human being. Okay, he said he started with urban and regional planning, which in itself, like biz administration, is a very rich content area. Now, when he said switch, David Omo, I want to correct you. Nobody switches from anything. All those things remain. Your urban and regional knowledge, urban planning knowledge is still with you, and you still have a million and one thing to do in that area. So you see, you are a bigger human being when you grow and graduate out of these things. Adding a new knowledge is additional thing. You see yourself building project lines that creates, it creates an empire of entrepreneurship opportunities on your palms. So I dare now say, are we confident citizens, or we are a begging citizen? Because the begging citizen will always be looking up for one people for some magic to happen or miracle to happen. Otherwise, you have the power to create these opportunities and give yourself the possibilities that could possibly give you the next mileage, the next opportunity, the next growth, for which when you succeed, 1, 2, 3, 4 other people behind you can benefit from your growth, and they also grow together. Because in the first place, you owe yourself this growth, you owe to grow the ecosystem, and the economy will deliver itself in, general growth, helping the rest of the people. Imagine some people don't even have the opportunity of getting to the university. And we are saying that the landscape, the labor market landscape has changed. So if even you, the graduate, don't find the jobs you are seeking for, is it those who didn't go to school that will be seeing the jobs? I think this is actually where it is that we and everybody here is actually a job creator. And unless you have that mindset, you really may not have that level of confidence to engage your, the perspective of what makes you stand out for whoever you need to be. And that's why we say as a slogan, innovate, it pays. If you are an innovator, if it does not pay today, it pays tomorrow. And of course, entrepreneurship comes with several things along with it. You understand? So this is some of the positions I've been there, and I'm happy I have actually get to hear more. I'm happy to have also seen one of our next speakers, Mr. Ehi Ohiwere, is in the house. Let me just try to recognize Mr. Ehi Ohiwere. Just introduce yourself, then I'll give you your time to take your time probably better, because I still want to get some interactions from the members here. Mr. Ehi, introduce yourself, sir. Just an introduction yet. You're welcome.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ehi Ohiwere. I'm a UNILAG alumnus, and I'm the founder of Shadow Scribes, which is a marketing agency in Nigeria and the US.
Thank you. Thank you so very much there. Thank you so very much there. When I hear great Akokites talk, this is the level of confidence. You stand out anywhere in the world, and that's exactly what it is. I'm proud to do this because more than 30 years ago on that campus, you see me between El Kanemi to Jaja to the Mariri, to the new halls and what have you. Maybe life was a little bit better because at least I experienced that 1 year of 50 Naira meal tickets. When you get into the butteries, you spend 50, is it 50 Naira for your breakfast? You spend 50 Naira also again for your lunch, and during your dinner, you also take 50 Naira, and about 150 gives you some good meal and some comfort for a whole day. And then come a time, I only had that experience for 1 year, and subsequently all that thing was scrapped. And you need to fend for yourself. And I can imagine what it is. Everybody was doing from one hostel to another, and it was fun. But then I'm imagining what it is going to be like today. But at the same time, we're quite happy to have you, Mr. Ehi. But before you continue, I still want to take on one more person. Let me get to hear from Oyidamola Oshinobi of what she feels so far at this stage.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Personally, I've learned a lot from the first session to what Elijah taught to what Mr. Shamsudin also read, and the contribution so far. And I've come to realize one thing, that really it's not really about, maybe the course you study also matters, it plays a part, but much more importantly, what are you able to do with that course that you studied, with that knowledge that you gain? What solutions are you able to create? And like you said, artificial intelligence is there for us to leverage anytime, any day. So really the ball is in our court to make proof of the knowledge we've gained. Yeah, that's what I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Right before our eyes, we heard from one of the contributors here who said he's now doing insurance claims and is able to use AI models. You train models that are able to tell you what claims are right, what claims are wrong and are false, and there are 1,000,001 statistical people, particularly who did statistics years back. Please just listen. If you did statistics years back, and for someone, of course, particularly you were also the one who said you actually started with regional urban planning. I'm sure you had enough of statistics. You agree with me that the models you train, the foundation is just sheer statistics. All those things are sheer statistics, and you are now able to train models that are now able to predict things to you, and these predictions can never be false because you've tested them on several data. You are able to identify outliers. You have been able to identify so many things, and then these things are there to give you certain judgmental and predictions that can never just go wrong with anything you are thinking of, be it business, be it a process, and so on and so forth. Please, I would like to now give Mr. Ehiwere the floor, and please, let's all welcome Mr. Ehiwere. Please, your floor, sir.
All right, thank you very much, sir. It's a huge privilege to be here today, and I'm glad to have had this opportunity to speak to people. So before I go into my segment and speak on my topic, let me just take some time to introduce myself again. My name is Ehi Ohiwere. Like I said earlier, I'm a UNILAG alumnus. I used to be a computer science student at the University of Lagos. Then I switched in my 400 level, I switched to psychology, had to go back to 200 level. But thankfully, despite all of the delays and of course the strikes that ended up making me spend some 7-8 years in UNILAG, I am now a UNILAG alumnus. So that's my story, and that's who I am. Those are the things that led me to the point where I am today. And honestly, those things have become a part of my identity, the resilience that I had to exhibit to leave computer science behind and then go back 2 years to study psychology and still push through and get that degree. So that resilience, that tenacity has become a part of my identity, which brings me to my topic today, which is building brand identity and awareness. Now, before I give you guys a definition of what brand identity is and what brand awareness, I like to make a particular controversial claim. And what that claim is that I don't believe in small businesses. I don't. But before you crucify me, hear me out first. When I say I don't believe in small businesses, I don't mean that I don't believe that small businesses can succeed. I also don't mean that I don't believe that small businesses can make a lot of money and grow to become big businesses. What I mean when I say that I don't believe in small businesses is I don't believe that a business should label itself as small. I don't believe that a business should do small things, and I don't believe that a business should stay small. I'll give you an example. How many people here know what an ajo is? Does anyone know what an ajo is? You can raise your hand if you do. Okay, well, for those who don't know what an ajo is simply a contribution by people, people who generally know each other and trust each other would come together, they'll pull their money together, and every month, someone, or every week or every 2 weeks, depending on the grid schedule, a member of that agile group will take their own money from the contributions made by the group, and then they continue that iteration until everyone on the group has gotten their money. Now, this model is kind of similar to how banks run. Okay, a bank is simply an institution where people can go to keep their money safe or to put their money into among a particular pool and then access that money whenever they need it. Yeah, sure, there are some differences between how an ajo is run and how banks are run, but in principle, they are both institutions that allow people to pull money together and give that money to one body or one person and access that money at a particular period, right? The difference is that banks, with banks, banks have a license to trade with your money. They have a license to do certain things with your money to make more money for themselves. They have other types of infrastructure. But the underlying principle is still the same, right? You can also access money from the bank, which is more than the money that you put into the bank. The same way with an ajo, you can access more money from the ajo than what it is that you put into the ajo, at least when it's your turn to take money. So the principle essentially is the same, right? Except that banks do it on a much larger scale. Now, banks make hundreds of billions of naira in profits annually on a similar model to ajos, and ajos make no money, right? They don't make any profits. The reason why this happens, besides, of course, the fact that banks have more capital, have certain licenses that ajos don't have, another reason why this happened is really in how banks portray themselves and how they structure themselves, which is they structure themselves as big businesses. And the banks are not the only example of this. You can use example of things like ShopRite and a small kiosk that sells similar things to ShopRite. Same principle, which is they both trade everyday items, foodstuff, and things like that. But ShopRite could make billions of naira annually in revenue, while those kiosks would only make a few hundreds of thousands of naira. Same business principle, different outcomes. And the reason that happens is, of course, because of capital, but also because of the brand and the identity and awareness that that brand creates in the minds of people. I explain further as I carry on. Now, let me share a personal story of myself and how I am leveraging this idea of branding to make what is seemingly a small business appear to be like a big business, and in time grow into being a big business. You may call it faking it till you make it. Same principle. So when I started Shadow Scribes when I was in the University of Lagos. Actually, that's when I started the business. Before I started Shadow Scribes, I was a freelancer. I was a freelance writer from about 2019 up until earlier this year when I left freelance writing completely to focus on building Shadow Scribes. I always like to say that I am one of the most successful freelance writers that I know. And the reason for that is when I started freelancing, I didn't take the usual route that every other freelance writer does, right? I started freelancing on Upwork. And when I joined Upwork, I didn't present myself as a newbie who was inexperienced, right? I wasn't that experienced, but I didn't sell myself short. I always made sure that clients knew the value that I could provide, regardless of my years of experience. And that was the brand that I built for myself on Upwork, which also translated to how people saw my work in the real world. So while other writers were charging X amount for their services, I was comfortably charging 5x that amount, even 10x that amount, and still getting more jobs than people who were charging 10 times less than I was, simply because I had built a brand and an identity around my freelancing that made people see the value that I provided. It boosted my perceived value in the faces of potential clients and made them more willing to part with large amounts of money that they otherwise wouldn't have parted with another person. So when I started Shadow Scribes, I also used the same principle in building my business. So what was the first thing I did when I decided I wanted to focus on Shadow Scribes? The first thing I did was I reached out to a friend of mine who's a designer and is also a very, very good brand designer. His name is Joshua. So I reached out to him and I told him, look, I want to formalize operations in my company. I want to formalize everything about us. And the first thing I need is to set up my brand identity. So I need you to help me create a logo, create typography, and all, the full 9 yards of business branding, all of the branding assets that I need, merchandise and whatnot, right? I asked for his fee, he gave me his fee, I paid him the money. It was kind of expensive, but I understood that building a solid brand identity was the first step to success for my business. So I didn't mind the cost. I gave him the money. Within a couple of weeks, he got back to me with, the entire the full branding assets. I really liked it. I was impressed with it, and then I got to work. So what was the branding of, or what is the branding of Shadow Scribes like? Unlike many businesses, and I have seen a lot of marketing agencies because my business is a marketing agency. I've seen a lot of marketing agencies and I've seen what their branding is like. I look at their websites, I look at their logo, I look at their typography, and oftentimes it looks subpar. It doesn't look like something that was done by world-class talents. And that's what I always tell my staff at Shadow Scribes. We have to ensure that the work that we produce is world-class. We might be a business by a bunch of Gen Zs in Lagos, but we need to create the kind of work that if a Fortune 500 CEO sees the work that we do, they can feel confident and comfortable enough to give us money to do stuff for their Fortune 500 company. That is how I like to brand my business. And that's what I always tell my staff. So when I did the branding for Shadow Scribes, I began to put together my team, did the branding, built the website. Everything was spick and span, and everything was looking very professional, if I do say so myself, before we launched. Why did I do that? So there's a popular saying that goes that it's important to prepare for the worst, right? People always say prepare for the worst. In case whatever you're doing, always ensure you have a contingency plan in case things go awry. You want to be prepared for the worst. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. But I have taken that one step further, and I always tell people to prepare for the best. What that means is don't wait until certain opportunities come your way before you have all of the things that you need to grab that opportunity. You always have to ensure that you are prepared for the best things to happen to you. You know, when they say luck is opportunity meets preparation, that preparation is very key. And that's why I was big on making sure my brand identity was solid, because I wanted a situation where when people came to meet us that they needed to do X job or they needed to do Y task, I needed them to see that we had all of the things that were required for that. We had all of the necessary documentation. We had the branding that looked really professional and really world-class. And I just wanted us to be prepared not only for small jobs, also for big jobs. We needed to have a brand that was able to acquire big jobs. So one of the things that I did to also ensure that we're prepared for the best was that I incorporated my business in the United States of America. That way, and I'm kind of veering off the topic a little bit, but this is crucial since this is for entrepreneurs. I think it's fair or necessary for me to drop a few more nuggets on how you can build your business, when you're starting out a business. What I did was I registered a company in the United States that gave me a US address, a US bank account, and essentially legitimized my company's presence in the United States. Why I did that was I wanted for when US clients come around, and then we've already attracted them with our great brand identity, I wanted them to also be able to easily pay me. Because a lot of people have issues receiving money from overseas, and it's a question that I get asked a lot by freelancers and business owners, like, how do you do it? So I registered in the US, so I had a US bank account, and they could just easily do a wire transfer from their bank account to my US bank account, no problem. So back to branding, as I was saying, I did all of these things not because I necessarily had the money to splurge on top tier branding, but because I needed to present myself to attract the kinds of customers that would pay me the kind of money that I felt I deserved. That was what I built my brand identity on. And that is how Shadow Scribes started. Now, has that been beneficial to me? Absolutely. In fact, as it stands, even though we are a Nigerian company, the vast majority of our clientele comes from the United States because we have positioned ourselves and positioned our brand as being a global brand. We are not just a Nigerian or a Lagos-based business. We are a global brand that provides world-class services to multinational corporations. That is how we brand ourselves. And so far, it has worked for us. Like I said, most of our clients are from overseas, and we're looking to pull in even more clients and even bigger clients in 2025. So, what is brand identity and what is brand awareness? Brand identity is how you present yourself to the public. It is in your logo, it is in your typography, it is in your brand voice. Essentially, how you want people to see you. That is your brand identity. What is brand awareness? Brand awareness is how you are perceived by the public, right? It is how people see you, the things that people think about when they hear your brand name. That's your brand, that is brand awareness. Now, sometimes there is a conflict between your brand identity and your brand awareness. In such instances, if you're trying to present yourself in a particular way, or people are seeing you in a different way, it's up to you to tweak your brand identity, tweak how you promote your brand identity, and continue to fine-tune that process until you condition people to see your brand the way that you want to be seen. Essentially, your brand identity is who you are or who you think you are, and your brand awareness is how people see you and what they know you as. That is your brand awareness. So how do you build brand identity? There are a few core components of brand identity, right? The first one is your visual identity. It's the first one because obviously our visual senses are what we rely on first when we're interacting with a brand before we begin to interact with the product or the service and whatnot. So your visual identity is the first component of your brand identity. That includes your logo, your colors, your typography, and your imagery. Now, if you look at brands like Tesla, for example, let's analyze Tesla a little bit and see what their visual identity is like. If you go to the Tesla website, you see their logo, that T, but it's highly stylized, looks almost futuristic. It's not just a regular T, like you would write T with any type of font. It's stylized, it has it has like a curve on it that makes it look sleek, makes it look aerodynamic, and makes it look futuristic. That is one aspect of Tesla's brand identity. Also, how they write their name, Tesla, the font they use contributes to that brand identity. And that is why when people see Tesla, what usually comes to your mind is something that is kind of from the future. It's high tech. It's almost like sci-fi, right? That is what you think. That's what I like to think about when you hear the brand name Tesla or you see Tesla's branding identity anywhere. See Tesla's branding anywhere. So they have used their visual identity to create an impression of futurism, of high tech, of this is where humanity is headed. That is Tesla. It also comes to play in their colors. I think Tesla's, depending on the car you see it on, but generally, I think Teslas like to use a silver color for their logo because obviously that also ties into gives a sort of metallic luster that further entrenches the impression of futurism, right? That's Tesla's visual identity. It shows in their typography, it shows in their imagery, it even shows in how they design their cars. All of these things also tie into the Tesla's brand identity. You can see the Cybertruck, for example, the way it looks like something out of Black Mirror. I don't know if you guys have seen Black Mirror. It looks like it kind of looks like the episode of Black Mirror where some robotic dogs were attacking some people. That's how the Cybertruck looks. It looks like those robotic dogs. So that gives you that sort of drives home the point that they're trying to be futuristic in how they come across. Now, the second core component of a brand identity, besides your visual identity, is your voice and your tone. That is how you speak to your brand, how you speak to your customers. Now, I don't know if you guys know Liquid Death. Does anyone here know Liquid Death? I don't know if you guys can raise hands. I'm not too sure. But anyway, if you don't know Liquid Death is a water company. They make water. Just like, I wouldn't say they make water because nobody really makes water, but they sell water. Just like Aquafina, like Eva, like Nestle, they sell water. But Liquid Death has a different approach to how they sell their water. They are like the quintessential example of guerrilla marketing. Firstly, Liquid Death sells its water in cans. They don't sell it in bottles. They don't sell it in sachets, obviously. They sell it in cans. So when you see a can of Liquid Death, you're probably not going to think it's water at first. You probably think it's soda or even alcohol. You probably think it's beer, right? But it's basic water. And they claim they get their water from the Alpine Springs or something. There's a way that they describe the source of their water, but it's still water. It's still the same water they've been drinking since the time of Moses, right? So, but what's really interesting about Liquid Death, besides the fact that they sell their water in cans and how their branding is very their branding is very morbid. I mean, look at the name, Liquid Death. Doesn't sound like the name that should be used for a water brand. So it's very, they use skulls and bones, dark colors. They use rock stars as their brand ambassadors, people who have tattoos, head to toe. They're very, very unconventional in their approach. But what I want to talk about is their voice and their tone. They are very sarcastic. They are very satirical. and are very humorous in how they communicate their brand messaging. In fact, they recently had a collaboration with Yeti where they made a cooler, but the cooler was a coffin. So they called it the casket cooler, I think. And they made it in collaboration with Yeti, a company that makes coolers, but Liquid Death likes to brand itself in a morbid way. So they were like, okay, let's make a cooler with a coffin, right? And then let's sell it. So they auctioned it, and I think it sold in Naira, it sold for like over 100 million Naira by the time the auction ended. I think the auction ran for maybe 48 hours or so. On my company's website, we did a little case study on Liquid Death's branding, their messaging, and that particular campaign. So on the subject of voice and tone, Liquid Death has a very, very unique tone that stands out, such that if I see a piece of copy anywhere without the logo, without the the colors and whatnot, I can guess with a certain degree of correctness that this is Liquid Death, because their brand voice and their brand tone is sarcastic, it's dark, it's satirical, and it's also humorous. When I see those things, I mean, there are other brands that have that same kind of brand voice, but Liquid Death stands out amongst all of those guys. So when people see or when they hear certain types of brand messaging, or they see certain types of copy, people who are familiar with Liquid Death might be able to tell that this comes from Liquid Death. The third aspect of your brand identity is your value and your mission. And I think Nike really exemplifies this. Nike is not shoe, but their shoes are really popular. I love Nike shoes. I have a few pairs of them. But obviously they make like sports gear in general. They make socks, they make sweatpants, joggers, hoodies, all of those things. But when Nike is advertising, they don't focus on their products per se. Nike wouldn't, in a Nike ad, they wouldn't particularly have an ad for Air Force Ones. Like, we'll buy Air Force Ones, they are engineered for comfort, they're engineered for style, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not what they do. What Nike does is they work with athletes, right, who are successful in their field. People like Serena Williams, right? Different athletes who are successful in their field. They work with those athletes and they tell the athlete's story of resilience. They point out, the kind of struggles that the athletes may have gone through from the beginning of their career to when they attain success, and even after attaining success. And they use all of that to create a sense that their values lie in resilience. Their values lie in doggedness and tenacity. They make it such that when you see Nike, you think, oh, the mission of this brand is to build a generation of people who possess that drive, who possess that can-do spirit, who never give up. That is Nike's identity from a values and a mission perspective. So now you can see how different brands use different aspects or components of brand identity to sell their products. It starts from their logo, right? And for Nike, let's use Nike to explain all three. With Nike, their logo is that check sign, right? Which essentially means yes, you can, whatever, however you want to interpret it. So obviously, things like that are open to multiple interpretations, but they are usually not too far from one another. The second thing is the voice and tone that Nike uses to speak. Their slogan is just do it, right? So that means regardless of whatever limitations you might be facing, regardless of your background, you should just do it, because these people have just done it and they succeeded. So you should just do it as well, because you can succeed just like they did. And then lastly, their value and their mission, which is, to ensure that they encourage people to pursue their dreams and raise a generation of people who are driven towards their goals, regardless of whatever it is that may be holding them back. Apple is another example of a brand that has excelled in creating a strong identity. And Apple used, obviously, their branding. And if you see the Apple logo, for example, or you go to their website, they have a similar type of approach to Tesla, that futuristic type look, that we are the innovators, we are ahead of the herd when it comes to technology. That's why their logo will usually have that same silver color, that metallic luster that gives it a futuristic look. They use lots of rounded edges in their phones. Even when you view their websites, when you look at the images or the elements in their website, they use lots of those rounded shapes, rounded edges, because it gives that sense of the future. So Apple has excelled in creating a strong brand identity that even translates to like the resale value of their phones, because they are seen as high class, they're seen as high quality, they're seen as high value, a high value company. That's why people are willing to spend more money for used iPhones than they would. I mean, that's part of why we will spend more money on used iPhones than they would on a new phone of another brand. Of course, it's not only the brand identity, the quality also matters, but you can't discount the value that identity has placed inherently on their products, right? Apple is a very good example of that brand identity. And of course, the fact that they created that whole ecosystem and how all of their products work seamlessly and integrate so well with one another also contributes to the brand identity. That's why when you hear Apple, you're thinking of things like convenience, you're thinking of great technology, you're thinking of reliability, dependability. Just generally, you're thinking of good stuff. And of course, you're thinking of expensive, right? That's still part of the brand identity. Okay. Now, for brand awareness, right? How do you establish brand awareness? Again, like I said before, your brand identity is how you present yourself, right? And your brand awareness is how people know you. So how can you establish your brand awareness? It still ties down to brand identity, okay? But before we go on to talking about brand awareness, I would just like you guys to let's talk about the things that I've explained so far. I'll need you guys to engage with me on this. You can either turn on your microphone to speak, or you can drop a message in the chat box. Any of both of those things is fine.
That's a very good one, Mr. Hiri. Thank you. But then we can now take comments. Let's please review what he has just shared with us now. In fact, these things, you can get this. Obviously, you get these things practically from humans who have been through Harvard. And sometimes even in Harvard, they are not readily classroom issues, because I always tell people there's no classroom for innovation.
Exactly.
Classroom scenarios create innovators. These are your street experiences. And you can imagine all that he's been able to take us through. Please, let's open up our mics. Let's share thoughts.
Yes. So I just have a small exercise for everyone here. Let's take, I'm thinking of a brand that we can use here. Let's say, I've used Tesla, I've used Nike. Microsoft, for example. Microsoft as an example. Or let's even say Dell. Let's say Dell. Yes, Dell. Dell is a good example. What do you think of when you hear the brand name Dell? No, scratch Dell. I'm sorry. I just want a brand that people are very familiar with. Let's talk about Mercedes. I think Mercedes is a very, very good example. It's a very, very good example. When you hear Mercedes-Benz, because obviously everyone talks about Benzes all the time, can anyone just tell me two or three adjectives that come to mind when they hear the brand name Mercedes-Benz? You can drop it in the comments, or you can turn on your mic. I really encourage this.
Automobile.
Anyone? If you're shy to use the mic, you can just sleek, bouncy. Yes, very good. Sleek and bouncy, precisely. I'm pretty sure if you heard Peugeot, right, you wouldn't think sleek and bouncy. It's just not in their brand identity. If you heard Volkswagen, you probably wouldn't think Slick and bouncy. When you hear Mercedes-Benz, those are the kind of things that come to your mind. When you hear Ferrari, you're thinking of speed. You're thinking of slickness. Pardon?
Social status, classiness.
Yes, precisely. Thank you very much, Adeyinka. Precisely. When you hear those brand names like Mercedes-Benz, you're thinking of social status, you're thinking of people, you're thinking of class, right? And it kind of it's similar to the issue with Apple. If someone has 40 million naira today, right, and wants to buy a car, probably go out and buy a used 2016 GLE. When that 40 million can probably buy them a brand new let's say 50 million. I'm going to buy a used 2016, because I don't think first million can buy a 2016 GLE anymore. But let's say they had 50 million, they'll probably go out and buy a used 2016 GLE 350 with that 50 million. Then, even though that money can buy a brand new Venza, that's even more recent. They can probably buy a 2020 brand new Venza, right? But people would rather take that money to buy a Benz, used one, 2016, than buy a new Venza or buy a new Toyota RAV4. And the reason is, like what Adeyinka said, it's the class, it's the prestige that comes with driving that brand of vehicles. And that is what your brand identity can do for you. It can literally take money away from your competitors into your own pockets, even if you are probably providing less value. I mean, in terms of tangible value, obviously value can be material and immaterial. Now, a new car probably has more material value than a used old model car, because obviously the new car has its parts new, everything is in tip-top condition, right? But in terms of intangible value, in terms of perceived value, you probably want to still buy that used Mercedes-Benz, because you see a person pull up in a GLE 350 2016 and the 2020 Venza, you're more likely to perceive the guy who pulls up in the used GLE as richer, even though they probably have the same amount of money, or even though their cars cost the same thing. You're probably likely to rate, I mean, from a materialistic standpoint, you're probably more likely to rate the person who's in GLE more. And that is because of the brand identity that Mercedes has spent the last 150 years or so building. And that, as a sidebar, building brand identity can take time, can take decades, right? So if you're building a business, you don't need to rush it or feel like you're not doing enough quickly enough. It takes time to build reputation. Thank you very much to Adeyinka and Aisha for your contributions. I really appreciate you guys dropping your comments. Back to brand awareness. How can you build brand awareness? Well, firstly, you can come to Shadow Scribes. We'll help build your brand awareness. We can also build your brand identity, of course, because we do logos and whatnot. But brand awareness now is a slow process, takes time, takes money, takes effort, and takes consistency. Earlier, someone said that they left, that they sort of pivoted from urban and regional planning to go into insurance, and they were corrected that they are still in the field of urban and regional planning, that I can still be useful to them. And I completely agree with that. Like I said at the beginning of my speech, when I got into UNILAG, I was a computer science student. That is what I got to UNILAG to study. By 400 level, I couldn't take it anymore. And I left computer science to go to psychology, right? While I was in computer science, I was learning how to build websites, but I wasn't really getting any clients and whatnot. So when I moved to psychology, I kind of gave up on that. Also because my laptop spots, I didn't have money to buy any laptop, so I couldn't really practice anymore. Okay, then I just kind of changed my goals at that point in my life. Now, after being done with university and starting my own company, one of the services that my company offers is web development. And because I have that web development background from my time in computer science, when my web developer has a project that he's working on, right, I am not completely ignorant of what's going on. I can contribute. Yeah, so coding did me things. Coding did me things, especially that language called Java and C++. I mean, Python was great, but those other languages, man, they gave me here. Sadly, when we were doing machine learning, but I digress. Anyway, so when my web developer is building anything, and sometimes I'm just like looking through the code, I'm able to contribute, not so much, right? But I'm able to contribute, and I can't be bamboozled because I spent about 2 years learning how to build websites. I learned how to write code from scratch, HTML, CSS. I just never got to the parts where I mastered JavaScript. But HTML and CSS, yes, I was pretty good with those two. So when I'm now, my web developer doesn't use code to build websites, he uses Webflow, which is a no-code platform. But when he's viewing the back-end code, I'm able to view the code and it doesn't look like Latin to me. It's very clear what's been written in there. I can tell what each of the elements in angle brackets mean. You understand? So that knowledge from computer science was relevant to me. Now, fast forward to psychology, right? Which is where I finally got my degree. When you see me today having a marketing agency, you may think it's not in line with psychology. You may think I have done a pivot, but really I haven't, because a huge part of marketing is psychological. A huge part of marketing is psychological. Why is that? Because you're trying to build awareness in people's minds. You're trying to be at the top of people's minds. So what you need to do is you need to understand human behavior. You need to understand human cognition and human perception. You need to know the kinds of things that are likely to catch people's attention, and then play on that, leverage on that to make your brand what it is that people want to see. Okay? Brands do that all the time. And Temu is a very good example. Everyone must have seen Temu everywhere. They are on all social media platforms right now. They are building immense brand awareness. And how are they doing that? Firstly, they are showing you that they have great prices. Two, they're showing you that they have lots of random items that you may never be able to find anywhere else. Three, they are showing you that obviously the convenience that you're in Nigeria, you can pay in Naira and whatnot. But the fourth and most important aspect is that they are doing this consistently. Every day, you're on Snapchat, you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, everywhere. You see their ads everywhere you go. Eventually, over time, as they keep showing you their logo, as they keep showing you their product, they burn themselves into your memory, right? And they have created an awareness. They have combined the consistency of their messaging with the content of their messaging, which, like I said, is the fact that they have some cool products that you're not able to find in other places, and they have great prices. They have combined those two elements to create an awareness in your mind. That is very, very psychological, because from in my 200 level in psychology, we learned about conditioning. And the first type of conditioning that we're taught was classical conditioning. Ivan Pavlov and his dog. Ivan Pavlov rings a bell, then gives his dog food, rings a bell, gives his dog food. He does that constantly over time, up to the point where whenever he rings the bell, the dog already starts salivating even before the food appears, because the dog knows that once he hears the sound of the bell, then food appears. So it builds anticipation in the mind of that dog and makes the dog start salivating in preparation for food. That is conditioning. But it took constant let me just use the word remarketing for him to get to that point. Constant reinforcement, rather, that's the technical term. Constant reinforcement for him to get to that point where the dog would always react in the same way, the same predictable way, every time he heard the sound of the bell. That is how you build brand awareness, through constant messaging, through constant conditioning of people, so that when people see this thing, they think of this thing. Yesterday, I saw a video where it was a meme. It was a reel, rather. It was this. I'm sure you guys know this song, "Love Is Wicked." You know that beat, that intro beat. Obviously, that beat has been sampled a lot. "Favorite Girl" by Daku, that song, that's the name, Daku, I think, used that same beat, right? So the reel says that when you hear this sound, and then you have to guess which song is coming next. Now, why that has happened is because so many people have used that sound that now people already have a finite list of songs that they expect to hear when they hear that sound. "Love Is Wicked," "Favorite Girl," and a bunch of other songs that I may not be able to think about right now. That was brand awareness. Now, when you hear that song, you already know that you're about to hear. When you hear that tune, you already know you're about to hear a banger. You just don't know which of the bangers it is, but you know that the song that's coming is going to be fire, right? That is a way that they have built brand awareness. Yes, just like Netflix sound. Thank you very much, Aisha. I think I should you deserve prize for being so interactive. When you hear that sound, you just know that yes, I'm sat. It's time to eat. Time to eat good, right? Let's grab the popcorn and whatnot. They have that small sound, as inconsequential as it might be, because a lot of brand awareness comes from subconsciously conditioning people. Those things can be very, very powerful. Now, when you hear that sound, you don't think of anything else but Netflix. I don't think of anything else but I'm about to see a great movie, right? That Netflix sound, like Aisha pointed out, is a very, very good example of how brands can build awareness through using certain aspects of their identity. In that case now, Netflix has kind of used like a brand voice, but this is more like a brand sound, so that you know that when you hear this, it is Netflix. Or when you see those colors, those curtain colors, that's part of their brand identity that leads to the brand awareness. I'm sorry, but in all of this, I haven't actually even gotten into the core of how to build. Exactly, it's about to go down of how to build brand awareness, like effective strategies for building brand awareness. The first is content marketing, storytelling. Like content marketing is simply you using different form of content to market your brand. Okay, so content marketing and storytelling would be using different forms of content, leveraging storytelling to market your brand. An example of someone of a brand that uses storytelling in a great way is I can't think of a brand right now, but actually Nike. Yes, Nike is an example of a brand that does very good storytelling when they chronicle their the athletes, right? That is storytelling. But storytelling as an effective tool for brand awareness is very powerful because humans have sort of evolved an affinity for stories, right? I imagine back then in the hunter-gatherer societies, before we had Netflix, people would probably sit around fires and tell stories to one another, maybe stories of their experiences when they went out hunting and whatnot. So humans have grown an affinity for storytelling, and brands use that a lot to market their product. I'll give an example. There's this brand that I saw. I watched a lot of Shark Tank, right? There's this brand that came on Shark Tank once. They sell socks. Right? And what was the story? No, there's this brand that sells coffee. I think this is an even better example. She sells coffee, Kenyan coffee. She named it the Kenyan word for coffee, 1865 or something, because 1865 was when coffee started being grown commercially in Kenya. And then she talked about how people in Kenya, women make up 90% of the workforce in the coffee industry, but only own about 1% of the land. Like crazy incongruence, right? Crazy exchange rates. That was her story. She talked about one, firstly, she named the company after coffee in Swahili, which is what they speak in her part of Kenya. Two, she added the year that Kenya became commercially grown to the brand name. So I think it was Kawacha, 1865 or something. And then she told the story of how women were very instrumental in the growing of coffee and the success of the coffee industry in Kenya, but had next to no ownership of land. So they're being exploited. That was a very powerful story. And she left Shark Tank with a $350,000 investment. And that story was definitely an integral part of that because people wanted to be able to, what she did essentially was she appealed to humanity. She appealed to people's desire to make a change. She appealed to people's desire to create a more equitable society. And that's why they were willing to invest in that business because one, it was profitable, it was potentially profitable, of course, but also the story tied into people's humanity. And also she one of the things that she does is on the coffee bags, you can donate directly to the women in Kenya on the coffee bag. And she said she had raised about over $10,000 in donations. So all of that was still tied to the story. People were willing to go beyond just paying for the coffee, and they're willing to donate to people in Kenya to women in Kenya because of the story behind the brand. So through that, when people hear that Kawachi 1865, whatever the name of that brand was, because of the story, they have an awareness that this is a brand that stands for gender equality, right? This is a brand that stands for equitable distribution of resources. This is a brand that stands for donating to people who do not have as much as we do. That was how storytelling was a very integral part of that brand. Unfortunately, people use storytelling unethically. I know of brands, popular brands, that have told stories behind their company that aren't actually true. Some of those stories are made up, or maybe there's a bit of a hyperbole. They exaggerate things a little bit, but that's still storytelling, and they used to create a brand awareness. Second thing is social media, and time is running out, so I need to run through things kind of quickly now. Second thing is social media engagement and consistency. One, look at MTN and Airtel, for example. I'm sure you guys have seen the banter between them online. Even football clubs do this as well, where they engage one another on social media and they do it consistently. That is how social media can help to build brand awareness, right? Sometimes people can probably even overlook MTN and Airtel's bad network sometimes, because they give us good content on social media, right? That way, people may even want to use those network providers, because the rest are bad anyway. So why not just subscribe to these ones that, even though they are bad, they still they engage on social media, and they're very active on social media, not just for the fun of it, but also what that means is that they are they're likely to respond to your complaints when you complain on social media, because obviously they're quite active on social media. So they have created that awareness in the minds of people, or people then become aware of this brand as one that is likely to be able to resolve your issues when you complain about them on social media, because they already have that presence and that community and that level of engagement on social media. The third strategy for building brand awareness is the use of influencer collaborations and partnerships. Liquid Death does this very well. Like I said, they use people like rock stars as their brand influencers. Okay, how does that work in building brand awareness? It's very simple. If you're at an ACDC concert, I want to see the comment, it's one of the biggest and smallest concepts but yes, absolutely, I absolutely agree with you, Adenika. Storytelling is a very powerful tool in marketing and in building businesses. Okay. So if you're at an ACDC concert, right, or any rock band's concert at all, and you're thirsty, I guarantee you, unless you have never heard about Liquid Death, but if you have, I guarantee you would be looking to buy Liquid Death over any other brand. You would not go to a rockstar's concert, be thirsty, and you are drinking Aquafina when Liquid Death is like on display. You would most likely go with Liquid Death because it ties into the ambience of the place where you are. And some research has gone into stuff like this. I may digress a little bit here, but some some experimental marketers have done experiments like playing French music in a wine store, right, in the background of the wine store. And they observed how that influenced people's purchase decisions. And they found that people were way more likely to buy French wine when French music was playing in the background than any other type of wine. Right? Yeah, I'll answer your question, Aisha, don't worry. And when they played German music in the background, we were more likely to go for German wine we were more likely to go for German wine than any other type of wine, right? The reason is obvious. So how does that tie back to this issue of Liquid Death? Now, if you're in a rockstar concert, because of the ambience of where you are, you're more likely to want to go for that for Liquid Death than any other one, because they have used the power of influencer collaboration to create a type of awareness in your mind for you to buy that kind of product in that kind of place. And lastly, the power of word of mouth and referrals. Very, very important. For my freelance career, and even till now with Shadow Scribes, word of mouth has been very, very key. And not just word of mouth from other people, but word of mouth from myself. I don't shut up about my business everywhere I go. I'm always talking about it to any Dick, Tom, or Harry who cares to listen. I let them know. So now when I was a writer, when people used to bring writing jobs to me a lot, I would even turn down some of them of my consistent word of mouth to them that built the referrals. I always talk about it on my status on my social media. So when someone comes to meet a friend of mine or someone who knows me and says, yo, I need a writer, I need to write something, I'm almost always the first to come to their mind. So like, oh yeah, I know someone. And then they reach out to me like, I gave your number to this person, they need a writer. That is the power of word of mouth and how we can create awareness such that even when, yes, exactly, on your head, so that even when you're not there, people are singing your praises. So if you do good work, people are telling other people about you. So I need to wrap up quickly because I need to be able to answer your questions. Okay. How do you now bridge brand identity and brand awareness? The first thing and the most important thing is consistency. Consistency is very, very crucial. When you're consistent with your brand messaging, when your brand identity is consistent, when your brand voice, your colors, your everything is consistent with your messaging, eventually people would catch on. It's inevitable. People were not seeing Apple as what they are seeing it as today when Apple first came out in the 1980s. In fact, they nearly went bankrupt at some point. But now it's nearly impossible for Apple to go bankrupt because they have built that brand identity over decades. Now people see them as the quintessential mobile tech company. So consistency is key. Second is content creation, storytelling. Very, very important. Obviously, your story has to make sense and needs to tie to your brand. So if you are, you can actually make it not tie to your brand and still be very good at it. So, and Liquid Death is a good example of that kind of unconventional and guerrilla marketing where there's really no correlation between death and water. In fact, water typically symbolizes life, but they found a way to merge death, water, and create this whole ambience of, oh, we are so cool. You want to associate with us because we're like a counterculture type movement. Ultimately, if you're consistent enough with it, and if it makes sense, and if there is a niche out there for you, then you're likely to be able to create that bridge between your identity and your awareness. Just make sure that they correlate. So if Liquid Death is naming itself Liquid Death and their logo is skulls and bones and stuff, it doesn't make sense for that to be their visual identity, and then their brand tone and voice is very heaven and not even heaven, like life, joy, happiness. It really doesn't correlate at that point. Okay, so most importantly, ensure that you are very consistent in your brand messaging, and ensure that your brand messaging is clear and that it's congruent. You're across all aspects of your branding, from your visuals to your brand voice to your values to your mission. Ensure that there is a consistency across board, and eventually, with enough time, you'll be able to get that kind of identity and that kind of awareness that you're looking for. And that brings me to an end of my section. Let me now take questions. I see a couple of questions here. One from Aisha. She says, how do you get a great influencer as a startup, or would it be advisable to get an influencer as a startup? It depends on what your startup is and how much funding you have. Okay. Now, not every startup needs an influencer per se, especially if you're doing B2B stuff. Influencers are usually if you're doing B2C, where you need the mass audience, then you can have influencers. So if your startup is selling, if your startup is a game, right? It's a game. For example, one of our clients, Casala Game, you should download Casala Game on Google Play Store, by the way, if you use an Android. So one of our clients, Casala Game, that's a startup that could use influencer marketing. We're working on getting some influencers on board to market their products, to market their game, right? So you can use influencer marketing if you're that kind of brand that requires mass buy-in. But if you're a startup like mine, where you're serving more businesses than individuals, you don't need influencer marketing. Shadow Scribe is not looking to work with any influencers because our customers are not everyday people. Typically, it's mostly business owners, and even for the business owners, we try to ensure like a minimum standard for the kinds of business owners that we work for. So, we're talking people who can pay, because our services, when you compare with other Nigerian brands, for some of our services are kind of pricey, but that's part of our brand identity. Okay. So if for a startup, it's firstly, you have to know who you're servicing. If you're servicing the public, then yes, you can get an influencer. Now, how much money do you have for an influencer? That's where the whole is it advisable to do it or not comes in. If you have funding, then absolutely go for it. It's up to you and your finance team to see how much money you can spend for stuff like that. But if you have the money for it, then you should definitely go for it. Influencer marketing can be very useful, especially if that influencer is relevant to your niche, right? So if you are a sports startup, then you may want to work with sports influencers. Very important for a startup to build awareness. If the influencer keeps talking about you consistently, then people would catch on to that. I think some betting influencers have built something like that. Okay, I don't know how to access the recording. Anyway, so to answer your question concisely, to get a great influencer as a startup, you need to first know who your audience is, then find a list of influencers who have your audience already, right? So you build your customer persona. Your customer is typically someone who's 25 to 34 years old, single and searching, earns a certain amount of money. So these are our ideal customers, right? Let's say you're building a dating app. So these are your ideal customers. Then you go out and look for influencers that their audience already fits into that category, right? The audience is typically between the ages of 25 to 35. Most of them are single. Maybe they're always talking about how lonely they are, how much they need love, how they've been unfortunate in love, right? Then that's your influencer right there. You reach out to them, you can create the content you can give them the content you want, or give them the creative freedom to come up with their own kind of content, and then have that messaging promoted consistently. Okay, so that's how you get a great influencer. Once your customer persona ties with what their existing audience is already like, then that's a perfect match for the influencer, as long as you can afford their services for long enough. Don't just do a one-time thing and then you keep it pushing. You may have to do it consistently up to the point where the message sticks. I think brand design is part of brand identity. Yes, absolutely. So are there any more questions? You're welcome, Aisha. Are there any more questions from anyone else? You can drop it in the comments, or you can turn on your microphone. I think I have about 10 minutes to go. So please, I'm an open book. I love answering questions. I love asking questions too. So if you have any questions, please speak. Okay, seems there are no questions. All right, let me just do a recap then, a brief 4-sentence recap.
Okay.
Key takeaways, right?
Sorry, let me just share from my point of view, just a contribution here, that you actually spoke a lot around storytelling. You know, if you really don't say what you have, I don't think somebody else, any other one will be able to put your story before a potential buyer or whoever needs your service. One thing I know that is very common, particularly as an advantage that many other people in other climes do, because currently marking some e-commerce, e-business and e-business and commerce projects currently, and this jury session exposes some of us national experts who are on the grand jury to a lot of products, you know, from around the world, well over 185 countries. And you realize that some of the winning opportunities, or do I say habits or features or attributes that these other people may have from other clients, is that they are able to put a very good story around their ideas. No, this now sell what they do, but then from us, particularly from Africa, we are not very readily available, or rather there to be able to put our story properly, no matter how bad. An European, you see them paint this in beautiful, video presentations, some pitch deck stuff. But guess what? You may even be having a better project, a better innovation. But here you are as a juror. Once I see a presentation file, it could be 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and I see that I have a winning view of that presentation. Frankly, I may not even want to even go do a download, that I'll feel this product is a kill. But there you are, you probably have a lot more valuable concept and idea than a product, but the selling story isn't there for someone to immediately see and get attracted to it. So by this, they lose, quality evaluation outcomes and all of that. So I think this is actually one thing that innovators need to look at. In recent time, we had an opportunity of engaging the people presenting their innovators for the Global World Summit project. And we had that opportunity of reviewing that, you need a presentation, because presentations does go a long way to sell what you have, make your product more visible before even somebody clicks on going to the URL to download your product, if it was a mobile app, or clicking the web page to see the project. So, but then this idea of storyline goes a long way. In fact, for me, I'm just beginning to learn that too, because you can imagine, for almost 30 years of software development practice, and I happen to be on a committee where I'm leading a web development for Africa's IPv6 cybersecurity web page. So I realized that we couldn't have just gone to development. There's a lot before development. What is the storyline? Many of us didn't even understand this. So first with that, we had a storyteller who picks our stories and begin to patch things together. And beautifully, by the time he puts things together, do you know that even we, the originators of the idea, are better seeing what we're even thinking about. And we're now seeing even these new things drive our vision. At this stage, we are done with the Figma web design in terms of, we've not even gone to development, because I was also not particularly in a hurry to go into development. You go into development when you have tidied up the story, you have tidied up the development, we are fine with everything, then you now say, developer, pick this and go to development. And I think this is where the world is today. So you actually have said it all, and all of those presentations to an average entrepreneur, you need it. And this is not things you get in the classroom. These are not textbook issues. These are real, true to life scenarios. And it can be better. I think at this point, if we don't have more questions or messages, we may just see how we can give a closure for the day. And I will particularly want to invite Samuel Johnson to please engage us finally. Let us have some photograph, and you can actually conduct that. Let's have some pictures, and we can now plan properly for tomorrow. And arranging for tomorrow, if I may just give you a little background as to what to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the day 2 of this boot camp. The day 2 will be about business operations, financial management, and growth. And it will start same time from 10 o'clock. And we'll be having speakers like Oluwaseun Tubosun Agbejimi, is the CEO of TradeFi. And his topic will be on streamlining operations and budgeting for efficiency. And we'll also have Olufemi Chris, a financial analyst. And he will be more on the area of basics of financial management, funding of options, financial forecasting, and so on. And of course, we will also have an Amazon, Edith Irugba Lachi, a business development associate at Commercio Partners. And she will be doing something in developing a scalable growth strategy. And some of this we've had even from today, but it will be more enhanced and expanded in the speeches for tomorrow. And then we'll be having Oyedamola Oshunubi anchor more, And I would also spend some time also because tomorrow I'll be having an outdoor event because I'll be one of the 100 professionals that ATCON, the Association of Telecom Companies, will be honoring tomorrow at the Muzon Center. I'm happy for that. But then that will be taking me out of town, I won't be virtual tomorrow for a major part of the time, but I'll obviously try to also be with the sessions. So at this moment, I want to invite Mr. Johnson Samuel, Aka Watersam, to help us give a closing remark, and of course, the photograph session for the day one session today. Thank you so very much, Mr. Hiowewiri. I'm sure we'll continue much later on.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Johnson there? Or Oyedamola want to do that for him?
Yes, I will. I'll do that instead. Once again, thank you so much to everyone. Thank you, Mr. Amos, for moderating this session, also sharing valuable insight with us. Thank you, Elijah, for your session. Thank you, Shamsuddin, for your session also. And thank you, Mr. Iyadai, for your session. It was really enlightening. Thank you for contributing to this body of knowledge and also sharing your insights with us. I would like to say to everyone in this lab that don't just listen, don't just write it down, don't just learn. Ensure you put these things into practice. That is when you make full proof of what you learned. That is when you get the results from what you've learned, and that is when you make progress, whether personally or professionally. If the speakers share their slides with us or any valuable resources, we will share that via emails to everyone who registered for the bootcamp. So the bootcamp continues tomorrow, same time, with another batch of speakers who will be speaking to us on different topics. Yes, someone asked if they can get the links to connect with other speakers. Yeah, definitely. For one, you can search for the name of each speaker on social media. I'm very sure that Elijah, Igbai, and Shamsuddin are very active on LinkedIn, Facebook, maybe. So you can search for them. Also, we would get access, we will get the links to their social media profiles and also include them in the emails we'll send to every innovator registered for this bootcamp. Once again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, let me also add that we can have a photograph session. Can we have our cameras on? Can we turn our cameras on? Okay, can we have more? I can see Mr. Dinka is on. Can I have more? Let's have more cameras. Camera session. Let's have our cameras on. Okay. So we'll see you tomorrow. On behalf of the World Summit Awards Nigeria, we say congratulations for day one. Thank you and goodbye.